I think I just might be live. Hello, hello, Zen friends. Happy Sunday to you. Hope you had a great weekend and you're having enjoyable moments. I guess they always are enjoyable. Just are we enjoying them, right? That's all our choice. We won't get into that right now, though. Let's focus on here first, bringing in some beautiful love energy before we get into everything. We will use the singing bowl as per usual. And what we'll do, I'll hit the singing bowl 2 times. And as I'm doing that, you can just imagine this beautiful, eternal, unconditional love energy from the higher realms just flooding down into our being, into our hearts and our minds and our physical bodies and our spiritual energy. And it flows out to the world as well, doing what it wants to do out there to help raise the vibration of the planet. And as I'm doing this, you can also think of one thing that you're grateful for right here, right now, and just have sincere gratitude for it. It allows us to raise our love vibration immediately. It also magnifies us to receive more of what we're grateful for and opens us up to receiving messages from spirit, which is why we're here today, right? So hello. All right, so if you'd like to join me, I'm going to take a big deep breath in, hold it for a moment, hold it for as long as you feel comfortable, and then we'll hit the singing bowl. So here we go. Big deep breath in. Beautiful. So here we go. Okay, that wasn't very loud. Let me do that again. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me in doing that. Let me put her on her little throne back here so she can watch over us. All right. Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone. I hope you're having too much fun, today, just enough so that you don't mind going back to work tomorrow, right? Just jokes. We can enjoy every moment if we want. Though sometimes other moments are a little more challenging than others, and I get that. So welcome, everybody. Hope you're handling all this wonderful flood of beautiful astrological energy, the weather of the stars, and remembering to ground ourselves as much as we can, focusing on higher vibration and gratitude as much as we can, because doing that expands. Energy is always like this. Astrological energy is always, expanding something within our life, and whatever we're focusing on mentally, emotionally, energetically, physically gets expanded in some way, somehow with all this energy, right? So the more we focus on the things that we're really grateful for, the more we get that. If we focus on our fears and the lack and those kind of things, we get to experience that. There's no right or wrong. But if you're tired of that crap or those experiences, then there's always something more, right? We can say no. Okay, that's a here. N-O. No. We could say no to those things. All right. Well, if you're new to my channel or new to these readings, welcome. Obviously, we have a great group of Zen friends with huge hearts and great senses of humor. Thankfully, 2 things you need to get along with me. But also, it's great for our human journey, too. So welcome, everybody. There's always room for more Zen friends. If you want to know how everything works, we have all that information down in the description box of the video. We do prioritize donations first. We'll step outside of the free readings. We do dive deeper into those as well. It talks about all, how you can make a donation. I don't have any set dollar amounts, all of that. So if you have that down in the description box, you can check that out. Free readings are just 1 to 2 card readings, and Sundays are special. I'm on for 3 hours, and whatever I complete in the 3 hours, I'll put a pinned comment listing all of the ones I completed with timestamps, and then I'll go take a break, go eat, come back a little later in the afternoon, and finish out everything from this morning session, including the free reading. So if you're wanting to get a reading today, just make sure to put your question out. We'll get to it sometime today. So appreciate all the patience. I know. See, I think Friday night was the only session I got to everything, actually. So Thursday night we didn't, Saturday morning, Saturday night, didn't get to any of the free readings in those. So Sundays are a special day. We always make sure to complete everything. All right. Today I will be using the Ocean Tarot deck still. I love this deck. It's a new deck that I got. Beautiful Atlantean energy. They talk about a siren's veil that we peer into, and I love that energy with that. And then if you make a donation, you get a fortune cookie. Your first one will be an art therapy, this huge art therapy deck that we just got. And then others after that will go to the Affirminators. If we run out of those, since we're getting low, then we'll go to the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle, possibly too. So a lot of opportunities for some fortune cookies, and we'll get into those. So let us jump in and get this party started. And let me just grab, let's see, make sure I've got all of the current donations. I'll run down the list really quick so everyone kind of knows where we're at in the list. So we'll start off with Sean G via CashApp, and then we'll go to Sudeshna, hello, and then to Diana, hello, welcome. Then back to Sudeshna, then back to Diana, and then back to Sudeshna times 3, and then to Girl Gone, and then to Nelia, and then to Valerie. So that's where we're at right now. So we'll skip down the, not skip, but we'll move down the list there. We'll see where we're at that point. So let us dive in. Let me take a quick sip here. Thought I cleaned out all my pipes, but evidently there's still a little frog in there, so that will go away here in a minute. All right, so Sean G, you are up first, my dear. Let's grab your timestamp here. Thank you for your donation via CashApp, as I said. And you were looking for guidance for the week. So let's see what we have here. What does Spirit? Okay, they do want that card already. Let's see what else they have here for you, Sean. Hope you're doing well, enjoying your wonderful weekend. All right. So we've got these 4 as well. Any of these other ones? I don't. Nope. We do want this one too. All right. So that's the overall for the week here. Sorry. Just need to wipe my nose here. Sorry. All right, there we go. I put peppermint on to help clear my sinuses, and it clears it for sure. If you're not allergic to peppermint oil, it just clears up my head. I love it. All right. So here we go. Bottom of the deck, you do have the 4 of pearls for the overall energy for the week here. And that is an energy of, I think we got that in another one of your readings. If they're bringing that back to me, if I'm picking up what they're putting down, which is a kind of, we can get to an emotional stagnancy, and we're ready for a challenge to take us to a new level of emotional release, emotional power over our lives. And I feel like this week does bring a little bit of emotional waves to help us, take us to a different level. We have Leo. We're going into Leo season. And then we have a new moon in Leo this week too. So there is going to be some of this fieriness. It's asking you this week with that energy to find your joy with that Leo energy, with the moon. What else are they focusing in on here for you with that energy? Um, it is about the courage to step forward even more into your emotions, which that lie in courage, stepping forward. So I like this. Nothing to fear. I feel like it's feels like a week of release that comes through those experiences there. All right. You have starting off with the week the Two of Spears, which is a little bit of a battle between the head and the heart here, and that's good. It's always a wonderful experience to like give our heart a seat at the table in making decisions, and I kind of feel like that's what's coming in here. Of course, all this emotional power this week, it does feel like the heart wants to be shared, it wants to shine, it wants to be represented in your decisions this week. So I like that, and that is an important thing to look at. Got 4 cards in the middle, but I want to jump to the end of the week with the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is actually moon energy, Pisces energy, I believe, but it is moon energy. So here we have this seeing things from an emotional standpoint, seeing things from a higher place, hanging upside down from the tree, seeing a different perspective. So by the end of the week, I really feel like you do see things differently. You do see things. Um, it's like it's a transformational energy. It's like going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. So you do see things differently, and it's because your heart. It's like it changes throughout the week in a way. Excuse me, I don't feel like it's like a huge, like, oh my God kind of thing, but I do feel like you notice a switch in your heart. All right, let's take a look here. Throughout the week, you have the Seven of Coral, the Seven of Wands. Again, that's kind of sunny energy about uh, not dimming your light, not asking permission to shine, being you, not defending who you want to be, but standing bright and tall and shining. Might even be, because it's usually someone up on a hill shining bright, everyone else is looking up. I feel like you this week do have this opportunity where you do shine up in front of people, but it's important for you to be you and don't try to be like, well, this is what people want. Just be you, because they're going to appreciate that more if you do that. You have the Tower, which is an energy of, it is a Pluto energy, I believe, but it is this change of energy, this removal of something being moved out of the way to open up space for you to be more true to your authentic self and to move forward more authentically. So, but this doesn't feel like like something's been happening in the outside world that's impacting you. I feel with this energy combine, the Seven of Wands and the Tower card, it feels like you're removing something out of your life that doesn't feel authentic anymore so that you can move forward. I like that. You also have the Five of Coral, the Five of Wands. It is conflicting energy that resolves during the week as well. So I like this. Again, it starts off with the Two of Swords, which is like a battle between the head and the heart. But in this case, it was the heart, getting a seat at the table. This Five of Wands is throughout the week. It's like this reconciliation between your brain and your heart. Your brain wanting this, your heart wanting this, and them coming together to find something that works for both of those sides of you. So I do like that for you. And then you have the Six of Spears. Yeah, Six of Swords, which is leaving behind some old ways of thinking and moving into some new ways of thinking. So there is this movement and this change. So I feel like the big piece of all this is realizing that your heart really, really wants to be expressed this week, and in a way just kind of barges into the board meeting to sit down and go, it's like those movies where the long lost son of the CEO shows up and takes his rightful place as the CEO of the company. The brain was just the acting CEO, but now the brain is fully in gear there. So that is what they have for you for the week. Guidance there, the heart. Let's see what your fortune cookie comes in here. They do want this one. And you have the My Connections, card number 18. This beautiful sacral chakra, which is relationship one-to-one with individuals. So sorry. The goal for the activity is to explore your feelings and relationships. The medium is drawing, and it's about 45-minute commitment. It says, think of someone you want to connect to. Draw a representation of you, then a representation of the other person. Then add color. Connect these two figures in some way. Hint, get creative with what you choose to make the connection, such as a bridge, a branch, a piece of string, steps, etc. So you, of course, can connect to your creative mind. Questions you can ask yourself as you're doing this exercise or after. Did you learn something about this connection through this exercise? What feelings come up about this person as you reflect on this art? And is there something for this relationship or yourself that you would like to do today? I like it. All right. So that's what they have for you, Sean. Thank you again for your donation. I greatly appreciate that. All right. So let me just get that in there. There we go. All right, perfect. So we have Sudeshna. You are up. Let's grab your timestamp for your first one. Of course, we'll add timestamps as we bounce back and forth for your other donations, but this is for El Numero Uno. So let's give your first one a love and a like here since it lets me. And thank you for your multiple donations. I'm so grateful. So the first one is here. So we talked about a new person coming in your life. You want to know, who is this new person? When will you meet? How will you meet? What else do you need to know about them? All right. So let's see here. It's always a scavenger hunt as we discover new people coming into our lives, because it's boring if we get like the resume and the background check and everything and know everything about someone. It's one of the big things that excites us to come in here and face all this human adventure that we're in, is the adventure of not knowing, of discovery. So I like that. I mean, our human kind of gets irritated with it sometimes, but when we embrace the adventure and the excitement of the journey, then we just take the tidbits. The scavenger hunt becomes fun instead of a task to be completed, right? So let's take a look here. All right, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about who they are? When will you meet? Always the perfect timing. How will you meet based on current energies? Because there can be some different ways that you can meet depending on your choices that you make. And what else do you need to know about him? All right. I feel like I just want to keep this a little limited, not go into too deep too fast, because part of your adventure right now, right, is focusing on your own heart. What's on the bottom here? Yeah. They're like, look at the bottom. Right now, your journey is the High Priestess, which is going into your High Priestess temple, spending some time alone, looking at things from a higher perspective, looking behind your veil, definitely diving deep into your emotions and understanding what can be transformed, what you've learned about your past adventure with this other individual, the lack energy, all that stuff that you've been learning. So it is a time of reflection. So they're saying that is what's important. They're going to give you some little tidbits, but the focus is on your self-love, because You can't give or experience love greater than the love you have for yourself. You can't give more love than you have for yourself, nor receive love more than you have for yourself, because every relationship is a reflection of that. So they're having you go in here to look at that, so that, we otherwise we'll keep choosing the same type of individual and have the same type of experiences, right? So this is priority right now. All right, so what about this person? We've got the Queen of Spears, the Queen of Swords. It's a great person who's balanced between head and heart. It is a good fit. It's like we talk about, I think we got like the King of Cups, which is the same thing. This beautiful fit. It's someone who matches your communication, your emotional expression. It's not someone that you feel like you have to keep trying to, why aren't they talking to me? Why aren't they doing this? Why don't I know how they feel? This individual can communicate their feelings. They're intelligent, but they're not so in their brain. They don't know what an emotion is, but they're not so emotional that they're emotionally unstable. It's a beautiful balance that works well and fits like a glove with you. So you deserve to be with someone that is willing to give what you're willing to give, right? You have the Magician, yeah. So someone who is very familiar with focusing on, they know whatever they focus on is what they draw to themselves. So I feel like they've already gone through a lot in their life where they knew when they were focusing on lower vibration stuff, they got more of that. They've realized, I focus on gratitude, I focus on the positive, because that's what I want to fill up with, not the other. So someone who's very aware of their power and their energy, which we like. We have the Two of Spears. Yeah, they're still figuring out the balance between their head and their heart. So they're by no means perfect. No human ever is. But they go back and forth in, the battle between what their head wants and what their heart wants. So we all have that in common. But I like that, so that they're like, because I feel like their energy is, don't put me on a pedestal. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for you. And I like that. Yep. And we have the moon energy, full moon energy. But also, this is a nurturer. And so they are someone who, has that ability to nurture and receive. So, equal nurturing back and forth, which is what, is important, feel for you, right? So I like that. Well, important for really all of us. We all want to be nurtured, but I feel like this is an important things that have been missing in other relationships. So they're highlighting those. When will you meet? You've got the Four of Spears, the Four of Swords. When you let expectations go. So a big piece of that, the Four of Swords, usually it's someone sleeping on an Ace of Swords with the Three Swords of expectations on the wall, which that's where we get disappointment when we have all these supposed to be, should be, need to be, have to be, must be. When you're able to let those go, that's what opens up the portal for you guys to meet. So they're not giving me dates and times, because this is all about focusing on, why do I have these beliefs? How can I release these beliefs about this is who they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to act, and what they're supposed to bring into the relationship, how the relationship is supposed to start and progress and end up, and what's it supposed to bring me, and whom I supposed to be in the relationship. All of that stuff is what sucks the life out, right? We talk about that a lot. So I won't go too deeply into all that again, but the Four of Swords is about that. It's an important piece, because you've had all those expectations before, and we've got what we've always gotten before. That's a big piece of release, so that you can be in the state of, what am I grateful for with someone in the relationship, instead of what's not happening. That'll be the difference. And that's why it's going to pause, because we don't want to keep having what we had before. We're wanting something different, right? So what else do you need to know about him here? I think, oh, how will you meet? Sorry. We got the Seven of Treasure, Seven of Pentacles. You'll meet when you meet, and the Lover's card. Yeah. So the Seven of Pentacles is the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit, and the Lover's card. There's a variety of ways, and this is what it's saying, that there's a period of time of opportunities of things of you guys meeting, But the Lover's card is also your emotional choice. So there's so many different ways that you guys can meet that, but it depends on the choices that you're making, the emotional choices that you're making in your life. What are the emotions you're choosing? If I'm choosing lower vibration, then it takes longer for you to meet, and some opportunities are missed because it's ranges, right? You can meet them as soon as this or as late as this. But there's all these different things. So if you um, lower vibration energy slows things down. So if we stay in that or visit that often, then we're slow. We don't meet them till here. We miss these opportunities, if that makes sense. So you have multiple. I feel like with the Seven of Pentacles, I see like 7 dots on a timeline, and there's 7 ways that you can meet. So feel like I don't feel like it's someone you know yet, but I feel like they're going to be within your circle eventually, and that's why you have this opportunity, because you can bump into them and get to know them in different ways, but it all depends on choices. What else do you need to know about them? 7 of Pearls. Yeah, got all the 777 emotions. And I feel like that's what they needed to know, this 7 opportunities to meet them and get to connect with them emotionally in 7 different ways. So, and that can be like, it can be at a wedding, it can be at a gathering of some sort, it could be bumping into someone at a bookstore, at a grocery store. Like there's all this different things where, all dependent on choices that you make, you'll be able to bump into them. Um, but there will be one, the last one is when you guys will meet regardless, but you can meet them much sooner if you focus on letting go of stories that no longer serve you, and beliefs, emotions that don't serve you, energy that doesn't serve you, and things in the physical world that don't serve you. Those things are weights that hold you down. So the more you raise your love vibration, the sooner that they can come in. So I like that. Right. And so for your first one, we'll do the art therapy, and then the other ones we'll pull from others. So your first one is here. I feel like this one is yours. Wow, your future unfolding. How fitting. You got card 33, master number 33. So the goal for the activity is to get to know your desires and set your intentions. The medium is writing. Time commitment, 45 minutes. The instructions say, write a letter to present day you from the perspective of yourself in 5 years. So go ahead 5 years and write a letter back to yourself. What will you have accomplished that you're currently working toward? Include as many details as possible. Hint is to make it more tangible. To make it more tangible, use markers or colored pencils to depict a scene from your future. This is like the example, if you can kind of see it down here. They have like a little scenery at the bottom after you write out a letter to yourself. What a great exercise. Explorative questions you can ask yourself. What part of this vision seems most possible? What part of this vision seems challenging? Does this provide insight into what you need to work on? What do you feel most grateful for in the future? There's that gratitude nudge. And what's one small step you can take today to move in that direction? I love it. All right, so that's your first one there, Sudesh. Like I said, we'll circle back around for more as we move that way. So, all right. So up next, we've got Diana, which is another 33. You've got 2933. Just had master number 33. So got some 3 3s in the house. All right. And of course, we'll circle back around here for your additional question. I'm going to jump to Sudeshna and then back to you after that. So we'll do that. All right. So thank you for the microphone and welcome. I'm so glad here you said that was it your cousin? Let me see here. Yeah, through your cousin. So thank you. Thank your cousin for recommending here. It's a very pleasure to meet you as well. So welcome to the Zen Friends. specifically said, "You were the man to see because you spill all the tea." I'm gonna have to steal that tagline, and I was contemplating changing my YouTube channel to brudda-zen's Tea Factory. So you're reaching out today over a family matter. All right. Just highlight this here. So, like your cousin said, mentioned MD and CC would be attending this weekend's family gathering. At that time, the energy was showing that, and that it would be awkward, as usual, right? So you want to know, what is MD and CC's 5-hour ride home going to be like, and what's going to happen next between them? All right, let's take a look here, and I think that was it. Let me just make sure. Yeah, because the other one is the what in the Sam heck for your second one, so we'll circle back for that one eventually here. All right. Feel like I need to take a sip of coffee to represent tea here. All right. So Diana, let's take a look here. So the 5-hour ride home. So why am I seeing the Beverly Hillbillies when they're in that old truck? Granny's sitting up top with a shotgun. What is this about? All right, let's take a look here. Yeah, Granny was she was a very raw personality in the Beverly Hillbillies old TV show. And that's kind of that crassness, that rah 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 energy coming through with the Granny here. All right, so let's see what we have here. Bottom of the deck, we do have the 9 of Coral, the 9 of Wands. So it does feel like protective shells that are going on here. Hey, Diana. Oh, I'm glad they think I'm funny. That's great. But there is this like forest field, the 9 of Wands, fire energy that kind of puts up this, energy. So I do feel like there, of course, which it feels like normal, that there's like defensive walls up, but this feels even quieter. The 9 is the hermit's journey, so it feels kind of like with Granny being up on the by herself. It kind of feels like very quiet, at least in the beginning. The underlying energy is a lot of silence, like silent treatment energy. Let's see what else is here. There's a lot more cards here. We got the Page of Pearls, which is a heightened emotion in a positive way. 3 of Treasure, 3 of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. This is coming through as happy energy, but having to do with coming away from feeling like the energy of a group, the higher vibration of happiness and gathering and being around a lot of loving people, right? Yeah, she did carry a shotgun, right? Uh-oh. But I feel like the energy, like at the beginning of the ride home, they're still kind of riding the wave of this positive energy from the get together. Maybe even, I know, gasp, is it possible that they're talking about what a great time that was? I really loved seeing so and so. Yeah, me too. And kind of on the same page in some things, you know, um, to start off. Yeah. Below the surface, we have the Ace of Coral, the Ace of Wands. There's the shotgun. Below the surface, um, waiting and bubbling. That the fire is, so the volcano isn't smoking and getting ready to blow, but it's below the surface, and they know that it's there as well. But I feel like it starts off like, again, riding the wave of the good feelings and the love and joy and funny and things that they got to enjoy while everyone was together, and kind of sharing that in the beginning, right? Like I said, the Ace of Wands is still flowing. Then I feel like these three are more like, you know, Here's the first 3 hours after that. Let's see what unfolds here. We have the Eight of Pearls. We do have the Eight of Cups. Let's see what else we have here. The Ten of Swords coming in here. And the Strength card. So we've got this Leo energy. Petting the dragon. Here's that dragon energy. The variety of energy that I'm feeling that's coming in here, it's like as the trip goes on, it's the Eight of Cups is like this. It's almost like a little bit of sadness of having to leave some people behind as they're, as we're getting further and further away. Whoever's family this was, that's the person that's feeling this. Whatever, because this was a family reunion or gathering. So whoever the family was, they're the ones that are feeling like the, I probably won't see this person for a very long time. They're starting to get into their lower emotions and, what's flowing, below there and what's going on there. So we have that. The Ten of Swords too. It just feels like it's that person who this connected to the family. A lot of this is that Ten of Swords is they're starting to feel guilty and the expectations of pleasing others. They're going into this thinking mode. They have these emotions that they're feeling. They're starting to overthink. It's taking them off into this, energy of disappointment and it's kind of starting the emotional and mental downward spiral during that period of time. The Strength card, the Leo energy here, I feel like it's interesting for those first 3 hours. It's like someone's trying to calm the dragon, and the courage and because they can sense all of that that's kind of happening. Well, this is what's happening is the one person is, they're focusing in on those things. What happens where I feel the energy changes is this person, the other person trying to calm the dragon, to keep them from going too far down. They're trying to lift them up. And that's where it usually goes wrong because they don't communicate very well. It's like their love languages are very different and their communication styles are very different. And because the other one, the person that's feeling these things is really sensitive in how they take things, they mistake. It's a mistake, right? They mistake this other their intentions and what they're saying, and they get defensive, and then the volcano starts to smoke. The dragon starts to smoke, right? That's when it starts. It's like I should have just kept my big mouth shut and let them spiral down. But they know when they spiral down, it gets worse and worse. And like, oh God, I don't want to go there, right? So that's the kind of energy that's here. The last couple hours are these last three cards. Let's see what comes in here. Da, da, da. I have the Four of Pearls. Yeah, it gets very quiet. I see here the Four of Cups. It's like this is where the silence really goes in because they're like, I'm just not going to say anything else. They're just like, they shut down and they let them do their little thing that they do. We have the Ace of Treasure. We have the Ace of Pentacles. That is this energy of it's for my benefit just to stay in this protective shell and not speak up. Don't move suddenly. The dragon will see you and bite you. So the more the more quiet and still I can be, just agreeing in, enough and without making waves. It's like I'm going to be silent so that they don't spot me and we're just going to be quiet. And we have the Judgment card coming in here too. The Judgment card is an energy of, I don't normally don't get this kind of card here, but it's like, because it's normally a draw of seeing things from a different perspective, but with this, I just feel like this is like the judge and jury, where now they're like, oh, now you're going to be quiet, and da 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 da, kind of um, stuff. Because I feel like they, rather than fight, they just go to flight, and they love to fight, the other person, and they usually had reacted in the past, but there is this energy of, I'm going into it's. I look at the freeze and flight as the same, because we're we're fleeing within ourselves and we're freezing. We're just I'm just I'm just going to be still and be quiet. So it ends up being that, and they just are like, they're they end up being in the same vehicle, but um, they're not there. You know, they both have shut down, and uh, out of exhaustion on one side, but also just exasperation. Is that what I'm feeling? Just kind of like, I don't have the energy to fight, so let's turn on the music. What do you want to listen? Here, let's put in your CD. Let's put on your playlist, because magic soothes the savage beast, right? So let's just do that. Interesting here. And then I just feel like it's quietly unpacking the vehicle, and um, preparing for the week, and going into our separate ways in our tasking, doing our assigned duties, kind of energy. So no murder on the way. That's always good. But I do sense that there's a change in dynamics, where fighting used to be the norm on both sides, but someone is choosing um, not fight but flight, and freezing there, right? Oh, yay! I'm glad that resonates, at least for there. Let's see what the fortune cookie is here. Oh, okay. So this art therapy deck, we can look at this energy of, for the situation we're asking about, but we can also use this for all of us. Anyone that's listening, we can use this little art therapy. It's card number 26, which is love you, love me. Be interesting here. The goal for the activity is to explore yourself and your relationships. The medium is drawing. And then it says, on the left side of a piece of paper, write some words or phrases about ways you give love to others. On the right side, write how you feel most loved and receive love. Add color, shapes, and textures to describe these elements. I do feel like, that's funny, the left side and the right side. The left side, I was the other person, right? The right side is how they give love to themselves. I do feel like the person that's trying to soothe the dragon, that's choosing to be quiet and to not fight, I feel like they are doing some sort of therapeutic adventures and putting energy into that, and really growing within themselves. I feel like that's why the dynamic is changing, because someone's doing a lot of inner work. Questions that we can ask ourselves: how do you feel after exploring these elements of love? How can you put your love into action today? And is there anything you would like to express to someone in your life who loves you? So I do feel like with these energies, this is like questions that they're asking themselves, going, okay, the situation that's going on, let's look at what's happening here, right? Yeah. Is that your second question? Let me see here. What's up here? Let's see. Okay. So the other question to that one was what changes are going to happen once they get home? Yeah. Oh yeah. So I feel here, and this is kind of where we were alluding to, I feel like with that card is they're learning to love themselves, and they're learning that their reflection of how they treat them and how they take them is a reflection of them. I really just feel like whoever the other person is, I guess it would be the person that went along for, because that was their family, not theirs, that they're doing a lot of self-reflection, and I do feel like they're doing therapeutic things, like we were saying, therapy maybe, or reading books, or doing a lot of their own self-reflection. They're learning a lot about themselves, and I don't feel like I guess I would say an urgency. Like, I feel like before they were like, I got to get the hell out of here, you know. But now they're like, wherever I go, there I am. And if I leave this situation, I'm just going to find another one, because I feel like they've had other experiences and stuff before too. And, it's like there's that, I'm running from myself. I don't have to stay in this situation, but before I leap, let me make sure I know where I'm leaping, because I don't want to leap back into another situation. It's kind of what I feel the energy is. Um, and I feel like they're telling me that meeting all the family and a lot of other people, they're like, wow, I understand you more, why you're the way you are, because I think they met some other people, and they're like, wow, they saw patterns amongst, whenever you go to a family reunion, like if you're the outsider going to a family reunion, you're like, oh, I see dynamics that no one else sees because they're in it, right? And I feel like there's like this awareness that they're having here. So I feel like that's the change of things. It's going to kind of be the norm, but with this alteration in here, a lot less fighting, a lot more quiet, which I feel like irritates the other person, because they're used to fighting, and with them being quiet, it's freaking them out a bit, because they're like, what? Their inner child is used to growing up in a volatile kind of energy, and so they're used to that, and quietness is what freaks them out, energy, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's what they kind of want to know for this piece. And like I said, we'll circle back around and dive in more here for your second question here in a moment as well. So interesting, right? All right. So thank you for that donation. We'll dive more here, like I said, momentarily. But for now, we're going to jump over to Sudeshna. So we'll circle back around. Let me grab the second time stamp. Right, Sudeshna. And as I said, we're going to jump back to Diana here in a moment, and then back to your other three here after that. So that's where we'll be here. All right, so let's see here. I think we left out this one here. So let's give this one a love and a like. All right, so that one was from up there. Here we are. So you want to know, will you meet this new person in your hometown or in a different city, and how will you recognize them? All right, let's take a look here. See what we can find out here. So is it going to be in hometown or a different city? Let's take a look at that. That should tell us that. And then how will you recognize them? I feel like we will get more from here. So I do want this one too. And I feel like these two with this one underneath. All right, there we go. What do we have here? You do have here, the bottom of the deck is the Two of Treasure, the Two of Pentacles. So there is, I feel like this is going to help answer the first part of the question, because there is an opportunity to meet them not in your hometown as well. So out of all those 7 opportunities to meet them, you might even bump into them somewhere different. And that can maybe be a family wedding or some sort of gathering that's not in your city that you go to. Um, but it's some sort of something outside of the city, but it feels like it's more of a gathering. It's not like you're going to bump into them on the street or something like that. It's like I feel like it's a gathering there with that. Let's see here. Will you meet them in home or away? You have the 10 of coral, the 10 of wands. I do feel like this will be in your hometown with the 10 of wands. You have a lot more opportunities to meet them in your hometown because of the 10 of wands is wherever you have the most activity, a lot of energy that you have invested, which is in your local area, right? So it's like that is what that feels like. But and that makes sense with this other card. Um, you also have an opportunity to meet them outside of town, but it's just 1 out of the 7 is that. The rest of it is in hometown energy. How will you recognize them? All right, let's take a look here. You have the 3 of spears, the 3 of swords. They're not going to be your normal, like your expectations. We talked about with the 4 of swords, letting go of expectations. The 3 of swords on the wall, that's the 3 of swords. That is their unexpected. So I feel like you're going to be looking around going, who are they? Are they here? What's going on? And you're looking for your normal type, but they're going to be unexpected. I don't feel like you see them across the room and go, oh, there they are. And then you go over to them and you fall in love. I feel like you're looking around and you meet someone and they, did we talk about like they're reminding me that like they're like, hey, is anyone sitting here? And you're like, no, I have a seat. And you're like, blah 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 blah. And you have this conversation. You're not like, oh my god, yeah, sit down. You're like, sure, have a seat, because it's not your normal person that you'd be like attracted to and drawn to across the room. But you start up a conversation, and it's more the more you talk to them, the more attractive they become versus if I don't know if you've ever met people where you're like, oh my god, they're so attractive, then they open their mouth and they start becoming less attractive. This is opposite. Not that they're like, oh my god, they're hideous or anything. They're just not like your normal movie star type that you're attracted to. It's, oh, who is this, yeah, we have the 8 of treasure, so it is slow growth with the 8 of pentacles and the chariot. Here's that power of choice card and the movement card that comes in here. So it's like it's not like they start to grow on you, if you ever heard that phrase, but it is like, wow, they're interesting, they have a great conversation, you start to like their energy, you recognize, again, it's someone that's caring and all the stuff we mentioned, and you're just like, what a neat person. And you might not even like fall in the first. I feel like with the 8 of pentacles, it's something that you do bump into them a few times, and then you're like, you want to grab coffee or you want to go do that, and you get to know them, and then like you get to know them, it's almost like you start off as friends, um and but then it grows more, and you definitely have that connection from both sides. It's not one-sided, it's both sides, right? How else will you recognize them? Let's see what else. Yeah, it is someone brand new. Ace of treasure, Ace of pentacles. It's no one you know yet, so this will be someone brand new that you meet. You're not familiar with them, never met them before. Yeah, here's that 4 of spears again that we got from your last one. Again, it's unexpected. They don't fit into that list that you had before, which is good. And we talked about in your first reading that's important. That's when you meet them, is when you've dropped those expectations, because otherwise you wouldn't give someone the time of day if they didn't meet your normal list of things that you've been taught you're supposed to want, right? You're open-minded, you're just enjoying life, and it just happens to unfold. You're not searching for love, you're enjoying your life and you meet someone and you strike up conversations, and it grows that way. Yeah, the Hermit card. You're happy being alone with all this energy. They're not looking for someone. They're not on the search. They're not, trying to fill a position of partnership and love in their life. They're experiencing life, and they're just, you're not picking up that energy of they're hitting on you. They're just like, hey, all the other tables are, full. Do you mind if I join you? Um, so it's not like oh, you just want to sit with me to hit on me. They're just like, da da da. And they're like, oh, so are you? It's like, because I feel like it's at a gathering. So are you friends of so and so? Or what? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, me too. I'm da da da. Where did you meet him? Blah, blah, blah. It's that kind of unfolding. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. We already gave you your art therapy card. Let's see what we have here for your fortune cookie. So for this one, yeah, peacefulness. You're at home in your own heart. I have peaceful, tranquil, and an untroubled heart. This is where I choose to spend my time. I like this. So this is that energy of like, this is where you're at when you meet them. You're at peace with yourself, and like they are, you're okay being alone. You're not, I gotta be with someone. You're okay and you're happy alone. And that's when this unfolds. It says, I can bring guests, but any person, thought, or event that brings drama or chaos is not invited. My heart is a special property, and I'm going to keep it that way so we can all keep enjoying it, and I can get my security deposit back. That's funny. All right, so that's what they have for that one, Sudeshna. So thank you for your multiple donations. Like I said, we'll be, after I finish Diana's next one, we'll come back to yours for your other three when we return here. Let me put that right here. There we go. All righty. So let us move forward here. So Diana, we're back to you. Boom, boom. So thank you for your patience in getting to reading, and thank you for your additional donation. And we'll put that here. All right. So those are both your timestamps, and thank you for another microphone. I love these. All right, let me see here. Did you have any other follow-up down here too? Let's see. Okay, perfect sense. Okay, perfect. All right, so for your second question, here it is. So let me take a sip. More tea. It's coffee, but we're going to pretend it's tea. All right, that is not you. Why did I highlight that one? There it is down here. It's like I didn't see Sam Heck. I started reading someone else's right under your donation. I'm like, pay attention. Here we are. So what in the Sam Heck did MD say to CC about CR? Also, will MD be reaching out to see? Okay, we'll start with that first one. I'm going to get lost in all the initials here. So let's focus my energy in on the first phrase here. So what did MD say to CC about CR? Okay. What did MD say to CC about CR? All right. That's it there. All right. And then will MD be reaching out to CR to offer up some sort of explanation or apology to them anytime soon? Oh, okay. Let's see here. What's the T under all of that, right? So interesting here, Diana, right? Cheers. The bottom of the deck, it cracks me up because we have the Four of Pearls, the Four of Cups, which is like it can be about boredom, and it's like when we reach a certain place emotionally, like we're always trying to grow. That's kind of like we come here for the journey and the adventure and growth and understanding, and clarity of life. So we're always growing, right? Emotionally, we'll start at one point and then we have, you know, little conflict that comes to help take us to another level. Like we start off with, let's say we'll do the two of cups, then get the three of cups, then we'll get to the four of cups. But once we reach the next level, when we're there too long, it becomes stagnant, where we're ready for drama, conflict to come to take us to another level. We're starting off going, evidently, everyone involved was ready for more challenge to take them to another level. So there's a good understanding of how life works. There's always the reason why the human characters are doing what they're doing and saying what they're saying and reacting the way they're reacting and blah, 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 right? But there's always a higher reason, right? What's going on behind the scenes, below the surface, and all that kind of stuff that's going on. So uh, that is them telling us the big picture is everyone was ready to have a little bit of drama to take them to the next level. The five of cups can be conflicting emotions to take us to a balanced six of cups energy. So it's interesting that they're like, yeah, everyone was ready for a little bit of drama. It was too quiet anyway. But let's see what was said. What did they say about these things here? We got the Eight of Coral, the Eight of Wands, passionate energy, and the Queen of Spears, which is balance between head and heart. I feel like here, this energy, it doesn't feel like it was really, really like crass, like it was um, like an out of balanced, um, hissy reaction of like, well, so and so, it didn't feel like that. It felt like it was like almost like an innocent comment. Not okay, we won't say innocent, that's a big stretch. But it was just kind of like a observation that they really should have just kept to themselves. The Eight of Wands is like a lot of energy. Someone's very energetic, someone's very passionate, someone's very active, a lot of motion. Let's see what is more here with these other two cards. But it is about passion and motion and energetic, which can go a variety of ways. It could be someone like, well, they get around, don't they? They got a lot of energy. What did you just say? Let's see what these other are here. We do have the Sun card. Yeah, there is this passion, a lot of passion energy here, a lot like to be seen, Leo energy, you know. Uh, so I do feel like it was set out of jealousy a bit because it feels like I got to get the initials right here. Sorry, let me just scroll up here. I feel like MD feels like CR is always the center of attention, always, you know, looking for attention, trying to get everyone's attention, um, kind of energy like that, right? Oh, I know, right? Let's see what else is here. Yeah, the Nine of Pearls, the Nine of Cups, the dream, the dream, the dream, chasing their dream. So there is some jealousy that's there with from them because it's like, oh, they always get their dream come true. They always get all the attention. They're always, it's not, it's almost like there's this, they're trying, not like they're trying to sleep with everyone, but they're trying to get all the attention. They're trying to like, I don't want to say gold digger, but it's like the energy of like they're always seeking to get what they want. They don't care about anyone else but themselves, kind of energy. CC's the out of balance crass one. Let me see. What are all these things here? Oh, oh yeah. CC's out of balance one. Well, MD, but it does feel like it came from a place of jealousy and like why they always get all the attention. They're always trying to be the center of attention and and things like that. I just feel like MD might have gotten to a point where they're just tired of seeing it all the time, and they just happened to mention. But when I was looking at all this, and now that you're saying all this, because I kind of felt like, because I got to get all these uh, correct. So because CR didn't hear MD say it. This is all about hearsay, right? That CC saying MD said this about CR, right? Because it's like, I feel like that there was perception, about, oh, they said this and this and this and this because they do like drama, and I feel like the gossiper, the person who is sharing things, that they're, of course, there's different perceptions based on what someone's going through and where we're at. So we never really know what was said unless it was recorded, um, MD told CC something about CR that made CC go off. MD said something about CR that made CC go off. Yeah. So, that's the defensiveness, right? Because they said this and they're just like, what? Kind of energy. Let's see what else we have here too. I don't know. I just feel like the Knight of Pearls. Like, are they going to apologize here? Are they going to do this? Um, and I don't feel like there is, because the Tower card is like this lightning bolt, and the Knight of Pearls. I feel like, um, again, MD sees this person as, they mistook it, they blew it out of proportion, they reacted emotionally. I didn't mean it a certain way. They misconstrued it. And so I don't need to apologize to someone else or explain anything to them, because MD doesn't feel like they did anything and didn't say anything just that they wouldn't say to CR's face. Um, but I just feel like they said something, and the perception that CC, took it as, is what the problem is, right? They're the ones that like the drama, right? CC, right? They're like they'll jump and look for the bad in things right away. Oh, you mean this and da da da? No, I'm just saying da da da. And that's the way it kind of feels like, that it was blown out of proportion. With that tower, the tower being hit, and they're like, "What? What are you freaking out about?" It doesn't feel like it was. Again, with that Queen of Spears, the balance between head and heart, it doesn't feel like it was something that was, way, way, way out of, you know, anything that, um, would have been said. It's just an observation kind of energy. Okay, so that's not a question. That's your opinion, right? Um, so, we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. That's the expectations equal disappointment. That's the heartbreak. The time. Seven of Pentacles is like giving them time to work through all of that with their feeling. And they have the Knight of Coral, the Knight of Wands here. I feel like here, um, that it's just a matter of time that they'll talk to them about it, because, but I feel like with that Seven of Pentacles, that's the last thing that grows on the fruit tree, is the fruit. It's a very, like, time, taking a long time for it to happen. But the Three of Swords is, is the pain, like you're saying. um CR, right? CR was hurt by what they said, what they was told was said, right? because this is all hearsay, right? This is what it feels like. It's hearsay. And like, oh, I was hurt because they told me what you said. And they're like, I just feel like MD is like, but I feel like over time with this Knight of Quarrel, the Knight of Wands, is action that eventually happens. But I feel like it takes time for them to come back around it, because I just feel like from MD's standpoint, it just feels like what happened just seemed kind of ridiculous in a way. Like, what is all this about? Why is everyone blowing up? All I said was this, but it got blown out of proportion. And then as the story got back, it was also, what do they call it when it was added on to and embellished? It's like, oh, da 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 da. And it's like, what? It just feels like here a big misunderstanding of hearsay. But, I feel like eventually with this Knight of Wands that they'll eventually talk to them about it. But I feel like it's a spur of the moment thing. Like, I don't feel like they're going to go out of their way to go do it, but I feel like they'll bump into them or they'll see them and they'll be like, hey, let's talk about what happened, because I feel like there's a big misunderstanding kind of energy. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is beyond, you're talking about more that was done beyond the conversation, right? Because I was focused in on what was said, right? Was this? Yeah. What did he say? Will he be reaching out to MD to offer up some sort of apology to him anytime soon? Okay. So let me just pull a couple extra cards for that, because this was all about the energy I was focusing on was the conversation, but you're saying that there was even more things that were going on here. So what about reaching out about their actions that they did for them here? Okay, let's put a couple extra just for that here. Yeah, Page of Coral. Okay, yeah. So we do have the Page of Wands, new action that's coming in here. And the Queen of Treasure, the Queen of Pentacles, is about Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, nurturing. So yeah, definitely those two with their actions, that feels much different than what was said. But yeah, definitely with this, there is nurturing and that needs to be done, and action, wanting to take action toward it. So that definitely is there with that. So, and I feel like that's makes sense too. That when they approach this, that they'll also spur the moment, kind of mention, oh, and that thing that was said, that let me clarify that, because you know let me just tell you what really was said, and yeah, because they don't like each other. So they're like, they don't like me, and they're just going to try to make me look bad. But I feel like that's the big thing. So I do feel like there will be it. Timing wise, it feels like it's going to be soon. What is this? July 20th? Maybe by the end of July, if not the beginning of August. It just feels like a couple weeks. There's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot going on in everyone's life right now, that they're like, I can't do that right now. But I feel like it's more towards the end of July, beginning of August timeframe, that's coming in here. This is what the fortune cookie is here. We got vitality. Here's the battling. Look at all that. Let's see what this is. I am healthy and vital and strong. My radiant love of life fills me with healthy, vital, and strong cells. Each cell is a warrior. Yeah, everyone very much, is a warrior. Everyone has its own sword and shield. Yep. I dare you to try and penetrate my cellular army. Didn't think so, chump. Yeah, there is this. Everyone has their own defensiveness and their own. Everyone involved in there can use therapy. Well, we all can, really. But I feel like they all have their triggers that all trigger and, battle each other too. So I think that's funny there. All right. See here. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Okay, sure. That sounds great. Yeah, if you make another donation, we'll do the other question there as well. Or if you want a free, you also get a free question. That'll be much later though, probably in my second session when I get to all the free readings, but you can do a free reading too. Those are only like 1 to 2 cards. We don't dive as much into those like we do these. So whatever you'd like to do, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm glad they recommended you too. So good to have you here. All right. For this session, I'll be on, say I've been on for an hour and 16 minutes. So I'll be on for about 2 more hours. Then I'll go and have a meal, eat my breakfast. I haven't eaten yet. I'm going to go eat my brunch, my late afternoon brunch. And then I'll come back on and finish everything out for the day. So I will get to every reading today at some point. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let us jump back in here. So Sudeshna, we're back to you. Let's grab your additional timestamp here, and this is for ×3. So let's grab all of these. Here is all of your timestamps. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so let us scroll up here. And after I'm done with this, I'll give you guys an update on where we're at with everything else. So let's see, we did that and we did that. Oh, let me grab some screenshots while I'm doing this here just to make sure we don't lose any of this. All right. So we're right here, right? Okay. We'll get down to there. All right. So we are to this one here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So let's give this one, whoops, there we go, a love and a like. Mouse gone wild, look out. All right, so again, thank you so much for your multiple donations there, Sudeshna. So you want to know, what does T's mama, what did they think about you? All right, let's see what their impression is based on their current energy. Of course, remember, when we're looking at someone's impression of someone else, that we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are through the eyes of our conditioning, through the tainted, dirty glasses that have specks and stuff all over them. We're like, I think I see this, right? But we're really looking into a mirror. So remember that as we're asking about other people's opinion of us, that it's tainted a lot by the reflection of their own self. So be aware of that, right? Not that it's going to be horrible, it's just good to know that. So what does T's mom think about you? So we got this, and we got this, and then below the surface. Did she tell T not to keep any connection with you? Let's see here. Anything else regarding this? Let's see here. Anything else you need to know about mom? All right. Just the one. All right. Yeah. So the bottom of the deck, we do have the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Pearls. So she has a bunch of different emotions, and they vary by day and by moment too. So, when we're asking about, that's why I love what it was Facebook and Instagram. It said, other people's opinion of me is none of my business, because it really has nothing to do with me. It has to do with how they're feeling in the moment, the life that they've had, what's going on, their perceptions. It's like our perception of everyone else is tainted too. So when we are looking from our human character standpoint, we don't see things clearly at all. When we learn to step away from all that and go into higher vibrations, see things from that higher place of unconditional love, then we see things more clearly, and we see people more clearly too. So a lot of different things. Let's see here. What does their mom think about you? We have the 9 of Treasure, the 9 of Pentacles. along with the Lover's card. Yeah. So her perception is that you were on the hunt for a mate, that you're looking for your dream come true, love and marriage. So she really, that was her perception is, you're after my son. You want my son to be your husband. She wasn't wrong, was she? She was picking up though. Couldn't get anything past mom. She's like, you're interested in my son. Even if the son's oblivious, mama knows. Below the surface, underneath that, page of pearls, page of cups. Yep. And the seven of spears, the seven of swords. Below the surface, she kind of has a, because of her experiences with her growing up and finding a husband and going through all that, she's got these preconceived ideas about what people will do to try to get love. And she's very, how do we say this? Strict, not strict. What I'm trying to say is that she's got these critical. She's very critical of people, of their intentions. She assumes people's intentions are you're just wanting this, because she had people. I feel like she had like someone that she was interested in, and someone played games to get them instead of her, and so she has this long held kind of hurt that she projects on people, going, there's people are conniving, they play tricks and play things to try to get love, because she lost love before. So she's very critical, or very, yeah, I guess that's the word, critical, like has an eye. I don't trust anyone, mistrust of people. And so there's that, and that's projected onto, but that's not you, so just remember that all of this has to do with her experience, like we were saying, right? Did she tell him not to keep connection with you? You got the Four of Treasure, the Four of Pentacles, and the Eight of Treasure, the Eight of Pentacles. It doesn't feel like they directly said, don't connect, don't pay attention to everything with them. But I do feel like she was guiding them to focus on home and focus on work. Focus on work and home. These things need to be first. I feel like they're just saying relationships need to wait. You need to work on this solid foundation. You need to focus on your work, your education, get all this stuff. We'll worry about love later. This is what you have to do first. This is what will make you attractive for a partner. And I feel like, because that's her desires, her drive was trying to find security when she was young. So she's looking at, you need to have this security to draw someone towards you. This is what you need to do. So I feel like it wasn't like, not you, just not relationships. You need to focus on this stuff, right? What else do you need to know regarding this? The Nine of Pearls, the Nine of Cups. This is this dream come true kind of energy of emotional. And I feel like what Spirit wants you to know regarding this is that it's all okay, that whatever reason mom was doing what she was doing, why the human character was doing what she was doing, that's what we looked at. But from a higher standpoint, they're like, this was on purpose, because your dream come true is this other person, not T. So with all that stuff that was unfolding, that was for you, so that you could have this emotional dream come true, not just physical dream come true and those, but you're going to feel like so happy and so content with this other person that you wouldn't feel with that situation. So I feel like that's the important thing that you need to know regarding that, is like, oh, okay, get out of the why the humans are doing what they're doing and try to see things from the higher perspective of why things are being maneuvered around for you, instead of going, why are these humans doing what they're doing? Oh, humans are complicated. Well, not really. They're very simple. When they're in fear, they act stupid and unloving, uncaring. When they're in higher vibration, then there's joy and all that other stuff. Let's see what your fortune cookie says for this here. For this one, yeah, we got love, lovebirds, you know, finding someone like you. Says, love is a many splendored thing. Today, I will notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors. Here it goes again. You're learning about singing a song of gratitude and appreciation, not what's missing, what didn't happen, because that's all lack energy, right? This is like, what are 3 things that are wonderful around love? Let me focus in on that. Like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent, or the surge of self-congratulation I feel when I sink a three-point trash basket shot on the first try. Or how about the chills I get while singing along to, and the name of um, a name of a song, you know the one. It's like the song that you like to sing along with. So focusing on what you love and what you enjoy in life is like what they're focusing in on with that. So hopefully that resonates. That's what they have for you for that. And then for the next one, let me give that a love and a like here. And this one is, will the friendship remain between you, or will it also fade away? How is he feeling regarding the distance between you guys? All right, let's take a look here. Let's see if any of the energy has changed. So, will the friendship remain, or will it fade away? Okay. This one, and this one, and this one. And then how does he feel about the distance that's between you guys right now? Okay. Yeah. We got that 2 of treasure there, that reminder of there is another, you're focusing in on them. You got the other one, the reading of, there's 2 people. There's the one leaving behind, the one to head toward, right? Just a little reminder. They're like focusing energy on them. Don't you want to focus all your energy on going forward for them? Why do you want to keep that connection with friendship, right? Is there a hope? Is there something thinking that, because maybe there's still a chance with them? What's the root is what that's bringing in. But let's take a look here. For your question, will it stay together or fade away? We have the Fool card. New adventure, ending of an old, beginning of your new adventure. So it feels like it ends here. Let's see what else we have here. The King of Spears, which is the mind and seeing things from a higher perspective. And the Queen of Spears. Yeah, I like this. So we've got the Fool card is a new adventure that you're heading off onto to find your divine counterpart, the Queen and King of Spears together. You can't make that up. So it's someone, I feel like it fades away, like we were saying. It's because that, your journey is forward, not backward, right? And it's leaving that, allowing it to be what it is, and to go forward. The energy that you invest on the lack of and the need and the want, that just, like we're talking about, that delays your meeting this new person. The more you focus on low vibrational need, want, and that, it slows down the process. So the more you can make a decision of like, you know what, this has done what it needs to do, and I'm ready to move on to my next phase. And that's okay. I'm just going to let that go. And that's okay. And then I'm going to spend the time focusing on, what did I learn about myself through this? What can I let go of thoughts and emotions and energy and physical things that don't serve me anymore? I'm ready to move forward, right? It's you taking that. How does he currently feel about the distance between you guys? We have the Page of Wands. the page of coral here. This is about new passion, new energy. Um, and I feel like they're not like pawning over or thinking about it and all that. They're looking at the next adventure. They're looking at what their next going to a new level of where they're expressing their energy and stuff in their life. So it's not, they're not really bothered by it. They're like, this is what's the next thing. I don't feel like they're someone that looks backwards, that feels like anything needs to be fixed. They're really focused in on themselves. Even underneath that, we've got Mother Nature, Mother Nurture energy. We got kind of that nurturing themselves, but also mother energy. They're focused in on work and home and building as their mother has guided them. They're not focused in on going backwards because they're being nudged to focus on other things. So I don't feel like that's the kind of person they are, that they look at what's lost, they look at what's next kind of energy in their life. All right. And then let's see your fortune cookie for that here. Okay. And there to give you your second fortune cookie. So this one, yeah, follow your heart. Time to ride the waves. I'm always rewarded when I follow my heart. Not your mind that wants tea, but your heart, which wants equal love, right? I trust that the GPS in my heart knows all the best routes. When it seems like it's taking too long to get where I want, I know that because there's some cool, weird stuff to see along the way. That's great. All right. And then for the last one here, Sudesh, let's give that a love and a like here. Again, thank you for all those donations. I appreciate those. You want to know, how will your health be in the upcoming time? What you need to take care of, any guidance or advice? Sure, we can pull some cards. Of course, disclaimer in the description box of the video, I'm by no means a medical professional. Tarot is for fun. Ultimately, if you have medical concerns, seek medical professionals. You ultimately make your own decisions for your own life. I accept no liability for anyone else's decisions. Boom, boom. We have to say that here in the United States. All right. So, health. What do they want you to know? How will your health be in the upcoming time? All right. Got that with that. What do you need to take care of? Anything that they stand out that you need to know about here? And then any guidance or advice? Okay. All right. So the bottom of the deck, you do have the Wheel of Fortune. It's the tune of for you. Just know that everything that unfolds in our life is for us. And so the more we can step into the trust and go with the flow, the less stress we have, because most illnesses in the human body are stress related. So the more we can learn to just go, instead of trying to control everything that's outside of our control, come back to the only thing that's within our control, our stories that we choose, our emotional choices, my energetic choices, my physical choices, nothing else, right? Come back to that. There's calmness and peace in that, and that does help. Let's see, I think I lost my place. Oh, it's right there. All right, so health in the upcoming time. You do have the Nine of Pearls, Nine of Cups. I like that. Happiness, fullness of joy. It feels like your body is working well. You have the Knight of Pearls underneath that. The movement of emotion. And that's good here. This is reminding us that if you can, the Knight it's the quest for the Ace of Cups for self-love. They're like, how you can have a happy, healthy body is to be happy, healthy emotions. And so looking into your emotional state is very important for all of us. Again, exactly what I said in the beginning. If I'm in fear and stress, that actually puts us into fight or flight mode, which if you study fight or flight, there's all this stuff in the internet and the world about how it impacts our body. It shuts down our immune system, our digestive system. It floods our body with chemicals. We feel stressed. There's all this stuff that happens. Our nervous system is taxed. So if we're in a constant state of fight or flight and fear, it can impact our body. So I feel like their advice here, and that we'll get to advice here in a sec, is to look into your emotional center. Because if we don't listen to our emotions and our inner child, they will get our attention through our body. If there's something left unresolved emotionally, it will eventually show itself in our physical body to get our attention as well. So good energy there. What do you need to take care of? Queen of Coral, Queen of Wands. Where you focus your energy. Again, kind of going back to that, what we talk about a lot, right? Whatever I focus, I grow and expand. If I focus on gratitude and higher vibration, joy, laughter, play, unconditional love, that peace, that higher vibration, then my body expresses that. If I focus on lower vibration and all that anxiety and lack and all that, that gets expressed in my body too. So emotions, our emotional energy, our focus of our energy that we're in each moment is important. So I feel like that's what everything comes down to that in our life. We draw into our life what our focus is. So even if I focus on, I fear something's going to go on with my body, guess what? I draw that in. If I'm I'm grateful for health, then I get more health. Thinking of all the times that I'm healthy and I love that. We don't focus on healing, because healing energy means I like to heal from things. So if I tell the universe I like to heal, what happens? I get more things to heal from. No, right? So health is our focus. All right. And then what else? What other advice do they have here? Yep, Knight of Spears. So there's all this focus on mindsets, and you have the King of Pearls, the King of Cups, balance between head and heart. It really is, getting to the source of our stress and getting to the source of the battle between our head and our heart and all these expectations and our health. The more we can step out of fear and step into higher vibration, the best. And that's all about the stories, the emotions, our energy, and our physical actions. It's really as simple when we just come back to each moment. What am I choosing in this moment? Am I feeling like higher vibration or lower vibration? If I'm feeling like lower vibration, I forgive myself, because don't judge myself. I just question, do I want to continue feeling this? No, then, or if I do, then continue feeling it, right? But if I don't, then I can switch to something higher. So I like that. So hopefully that helps. Your fortune cookie is strength. Look at out of all the cards, it had chosen it for you already, which is, you're hereby declared a strong, resilient warrior of heroic proportions. Enjoy your battles, whatever they are, because you're guaranteed to come through them stronger, brighter, and more compassionate. And based on what I know of mythology, probably with great hair and a six-pack. That's great. I love that for you. All right. So that's what they have for you, Sadeshna. So thank you again for your multiple donations and many blessings to you. All right. So continue going down here. Okay, that's what I was going to say. Where we're at, let me grab the other ones here too. So up next, we do have Girl Gone, and then Nelia, and then to Valerie. And then we jump over to Maria. Let me check timestamps here. And then to, oops, I wanted to correct your name there, to Charu. Let's see here. Sorry, let me just make sure here. And then we jump back to Sudeshna. Okay. And then we have love is the most powerful force in the universe. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. So true. And that is times 2. Okay, and let's see here. Then we jumped to Diana for the follow up there. And then let's see here. I'm just looking at timestamps here. All right, and then we jump back to, let me make sure here. This is, yep. And then we have Maria P. We come back for your second one via the PayPal. Okay, and then, yep. And then we have Johanna. You are up after that. Okay. All right. And then Marissa. I did get yours as well. You were the last one here on the PayPal here. So let's put you in here. All right. Whoops. There we go. Yay. So I do have that. So that's where we're at. We still have quite a few donations to go here. Now, let's see. I'm going to be on for about another hour and 20 minutes. So whatever I don't finish in this session, both donations and free readings, after I go take a little break and eat, I do come back on and finish out everything as well. So we're going to get all readings today at some point there. All right, and I'm just double checking real quick here. My host is not here today, and we do have some packages coming. I just need to make sure that they don't deliver them, because I'll have to run up there real quick and grab them so that porch pirates don't get tempted. Okay, yeah. So this one says 4:15, so we got plenty of time for that. The other one doesn't show up for delivery, so we are good. So thank you guys. I normally don't do that because she's normally up there when packages are being delivered, but lo and behold, packages are coming earlier than they said they were, which is good. We're grateful for that, but it also adds some challenges, right? Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's get back into it, everybody. Enough about my life. So, Girl Gone, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. All righty. Boom. So, Girl Gone, thank you so much for your donation. You got me. What now, universe? Right? So what's coming next, right? Let's take a look here. All right. All right. So let's take a look here. What does Spirit want you to know? Like, what now? What now? Not like what now, but what now? Let's see here. All right. What do you have to share here? All right. Let's see what's unfolding here. We got one card in 2 and 3 and then 1. So there's something that's repeating here. We've the bottom of the deck, you have the 8 of Cups, 8 of Pearls, what they call it in this one. This is about walking away from emotions and relationships that don't serve you anymore. It's an important thing. It's building up your emotional bank so that you have the higher vibration emotion to be able to invest on what's coming forward here. We'll see what this is about here. But it is about questioning where you're investing your energy in any type of relationship, lovers, friends, family, whatever, going, where are those relationships that I'm giving so much and getting so little back? Like, I'm the one always giving 70, 80, 90% into that relationship. They're only giving 10, 20, 30. If it's with an adult, children are different, right? But with an adult, it's like, maybe it's time to stop giving into that relationship completely. You know, the ones that you're like, yeah, that's that needed to go for a long time. It's time to let that go. Others are like, well, let me back off to 50% and see if they make up the difference. And if they don't, it drifts away, then you get back all that emotional energy. The other thing is any emotions that you are suppressing, that you've been pushing down since you were 7 years old and younger. There might be some emotions that you're using energy to keep down because that's what you were taught, you know, because usually there's three emotions we have as children, right? Happy, smiley emotions, or we've got, sad and crying, or angry and tantrum. One of those is only usually supported by adults, which is the happy, smiling child. Don't you, as they say, quit your crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Or if you don't stop your tantrum, I'm going to take you out and beat you in the car. That's what happened when in the era I was growing up in. Um, and so we're taught to push down those emotions because we don't know what to do with that anger and that sadness. So we push those down, right? So there could be some of that your inner child hasn't been able to express and it didn't know what to do with it. So it's been holding on to it all this time, expressing it out to you, going, can we do something with this? And now it's time, right? Let's see what else. What else is next here? You do have the Nine of Treasure, Nine of Pentacles. This is a little bit of a lone time. The Nine is the Hermit's energy. The Pentacles is the outside world. Spending some time with self. Well, that makes sense with this. To do this emotional work, sometimes we do need to have that specific pocketed away time for us to hermit. It doesn't mean you have to be a complete hermit, but definitely taking the time to do that will help you. You got the 10 of Pearls, yeah, the 10 of Cups, joy, 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 and the 6 of Treasure, the 6 of Pentacles. Part of this journey is realizing to have my joy, it's to understand, again, going back to this, my inner child developing its out of balanced ratio of giving and receiving, meaning that when I was younger, I felt I had to give 1,000 love coins to get one love coin back. And so we developed this way out of balance, going back to that relationships. I am supposed to give 80, 90%, and I only deserve getting back 10, 20%, right? And so there is this energy of clarity that comes in with all this, of going back, and because we learn that as a child and our child doesn't know any better. That seems fair, 1,000 to 1. All right. And then it, pushes it down into the subconscious, and it's on autopilot, and we run off of that out of balance ratio for a long time till we bring it to our consciousness to correct that, to go, that's not fair. Let's bring that down to 1 to 1 instead of 1,000 to 1. We do that through that inner child work, right? So I feel like this is a time of looking at that worth and seeing what these emotions are that are pushed down in there, which leads us to here, yeah, the Tower card. It is a time we can trust that when people or situations are moved out of our life, it is for us to create space for that which is truly more in alignment with who we are and where we want to go. It removes obstacles out of the road. So if there's something that just got moved out of the way, go, and you're going, now what? Now that got blasted away, what's going to be put in this place? Well, here comes you. Here comes the empowered you that's coming in here. Let's see what else with that. Yep, the Chariot, power of choice. Wow. And then the Knight of Spears, Knight of Swords, which is the quest of seeing things from a higher perspective, the power of choice energy. A big piece of what you're learning with all this is, as we look back at our childhood, we just took on a lot of stuff, right? And we have all of that has come in. And Valerie, I'll answer you here in a moment if you'll just stick with us for a sec. But we've got this, awareness that no one can hurt me. No one can make me feel a certain way. No one can make me think a certain way. No one can make me act a certain way. But we also can't make anyone else feel or act or anything. The power of choice realizes that as we let go of of our responsibility for everyone else's choices, we also release everyone else from our choices growing up. And we realize as a child, we didn't know any better. We just took on what everyone took us and go, okay, that's what I'm going to do. But we still were choosing. These are my thoughts and stories and opinions. I'm going to take all those on. Um, all that's supposed to be, should be, need to be, have to be, must be's, and all of that. And there's this energy of, coming back to our power. I get to choose the story about what things mean. I get to choose the emotion that I want to feel. I get to choose where I'm focusing my energy and what I'm drawing into my life and how I'm creating my life. And I get to choose my actions. I don't have to be responsible. I'm not responsible. I can't control anyone else's. And there's this big awareness, seeing things from a different perspective, going, something gets removed out of my life. It's for me. It's not happening to me. And now I can ask, why did I want these things in my life to happen for me? What am I learning about myself? How am I transforming it? So I like all this, which takes you 1, 2, 3, and then it starts over at 1, which is the 4 of Pentacles, the 4 of Treasure, which brings you into this awareness that in the beginning, we are taught that our worth is defined by these 3 buckets of the outside world: relationships, situations, and things. But that's all a lie. Because what the 4 of Pentacles teaches us is when I define my worth by the outside world, I feel unstable. And the reason is all those things in the outside world are temporary and unstable. Relationships with humans of all kinds, lovers, friends, family, whatever, people change, people walk away, people pass away. Relationships with humans are unstable. If I define myself by those, then I'm also feel unstable. Things like our not things, our situations like our jobs, our education, social status, whatever situations we can get into, never stay the same, right? If I define myself by that, I feel unstable. Things, our bodies, our bank accounts, our possessions, unstable, right? Things deteriorate, blow up, burn down, stolen, whatever, right? Never the same always. So again, define ourselves by that. All that instability, all that outside world stuff, all points us back to the only stable thing in this realm, which is inward and upward, where we find the eternal, never ending, that's pretty stable, right? Eternal, unconditional love of the higher realms. Unconditional. Nothing that we can do to, do to anything we have to do to earn it, and nothing we can do to lose it either. So the most stable thing that we have in the outside world. So that's what I feel like the big thing that we learn through all of this. So I feel like that's what's coming next. Let's see what your fortune cookie is here. And Valerie, I haven't gotten to yours yet. Nalia is up next, and then you. So we're almost to you, Valerie. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, traveling art exchange is your art therapy. Got card number 46. So the goal for the activity is to boost happiness through social connection. And the medium is through a collage. And then the time commitment is 15 minutes times 3. So let's see here. The instructions are: find a person who wants to trade art. Each person begins with a postcard-sized paper, and they glue magazine images or add words or illustrations to it. Exchange the postcards with the other person, and after receiving your friend's image, add additional collage elements. Trade postcards again and add collage element 1 more time. When you're done, each person gets to keep an image. Interesting. This is a good, kind of interaction, but it also represents how we kind of create our self-worth over time. We're taking on what other people are saying should define us, right? When really I get to create my own postcard. I get to define myself. Questions you can ask yourself: how did your original image evolve with your friends' additions? That's a good thing. How did I change because of other people's opinions or their additions to my life? Did this art exercise help you feel closer to your friend, closer to yourself? How did it feel making art knowing it would be shared with another person? I like that. All right. So that is what they have for you, Girl Gun. Hopefully that helps. Let me give everyone a quick update on where we're at, so that everyone knows. Because I'm going to be on for about another hour. I may not get through all of these donations within that period of time, because I like to not rush and give the due diligence for each, of course. So I might end up doing some in the second session when I come back. But we have up next is Nelia, and then Valerie, and then Maria P, and then Charu, and then Sudeshna, and then Love is the most powerful force in the universe times two, Diana, and then back to Maria P, and then to Johanna, and then to you, Marissa. So I feel like, because you're like the end there, you're probably going to be in the second session. I'll end in about an hour. I'll probably take about an hour to eat or so, and then I'll come back on and finish out everything today. So you will definitely get it today, and you'll be the donations are up first when I return for my second makeup session. So we'll do that there. So thank you for your everyone's patience on getting to your readings. I know sometimes it's like, I know we all want ours right now, right? I know I would. So all right, and let me just make sure here real quick. I want to make sure this is okay. All right, so and let me just get that one here. I'll add Sudeshna to the bottom there. Okay. Let me get back up to where we're at here. And let me grab another print screen while I'm here too. All right. So Nelia, you are up. So 1:57:39 is your timestamp. Let's throw that down here. Of course, we'll circle back around. We'll take care of your free one eventually as well. All right. So Nelia, thank you for your donation. Hey you. Hope you're doing well. And you'd like a general reading. Who, when, what, where, how. Just whatever, right? All right. Yeah, great to see you too. Thank you for all the love and light and strength that you're sending out to everyone. All right. So let's see here. General reading. What does Spirit wants you to know? All right. Who, what, when, where, what's happening? Okay. All right. So who, when, what, where, how, and etc. Well, etc. is the bottom of the deck here. So let's see what we've got coming in here. We do have the Temperance card on the bottom, which is a good balance of opposites. It's also alchemy. It's the slow progression. Be assured that things are flowing below the surface. Though things might be feeling stagnant, not moving forward, we do have this, movement that is happening. And before you know it, this beautiful magic, it's two things, magic is added to it, and it's combined, and it goes back and forth. Eventually, it turns to gold. So it will happen, and I feel like it will. Something's going to just out of the blue, and it go, wow. I had gotten used to just not expecting it, and then boom, something shows up here. So let's see what we have here. You do have the Three of Spears, the Three of Swords coming in. This, of course, is the expectations equal disappointment. And I feel like, as I was just saying, I stopped expecting something. I feel like with the Three of Swords, you can do a little kind of reflection and go right down 1, 2, 3. What are three things that I feel should have already happened by now? Right? Ooh, deep, right? what are the three things? I try not to go off and think on my own. What are the three things that you think should have already happened by now that haven't, that you feel you're being patient with? Because those are things that we can release and surrender, um, because that is lack energy when we might even be aware of it till we think about it and go, yeah, I think I should have this already, or have this already, or this person. Like I should be with someone. I should have this kind of job. I should have this kind of income or car or home or whatever it might be. What are the things that I think I should already have in my life that I don't? And that's the expectations we can look at. So a little bit of homework if you choose it. Yeah. We have the devil card. That's that Capricorn Saturn energy, the shaking and the rattling. I think we've talked about Saturn returns before. Excuse me. It's like, takes Saturn 29 years to return to the exact place it was when we were born. Happens three, sometimes if we get really, really old, maybe four times, right? That would be 120-ish, right? If it's 30 times four, that means we're living past 100. But the first one it can impact us 5 years before and after that too. So anywhere from like 23 to 30, 33, it's like this 10-year period of we can start being impacted, where our long-held beliefs, these expectations, start getting shaken and rattled. And so this is part of that process. I feel like it's important that you're realizing and becoming really conscious of these long-held beliefs that I can question to free myself from, to where even if I'm not conscious of it, it's running in my subconscious. It takes energy. It's like when you have your computer and you have all these programs running, they're minimized, still weighs on the CPU and the movement of your computer. Everything runs a lot slower if you close down these things that are minimized, and that's removing them. Things speed up and things run more smoothly, right? So I like that for you. Let's see what else we have here. You got the Four of Pearls, the Four of Cups that comes in here. There is this energy of emotional stability with the Four of Cups. I feel like these other ones have to do with this. We've got the Nine of Coral, the Nine of Wands. This is the energy of what is keeping you from feeling the stability of your emotions. I feel like all of this is like we were just talking about. It's like, how can I feel peaceful? Like things are running smoothly, like my emotions feel stable instead of pew, pew, bam, 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 bam. But there's like, what is this barrier that's been doing this? And this goes back to inner child, right? Which is what you'll get to in questioning these things, because our little inner child has a lot of that out of balance of giving and receiving, the out of balance of what needs to happen in order for me to be worthy and lovable. And when it's not being met, it puts up barriers going, no, we don't deserve stuff, right? So that emotional stability comes in as these walls come down. And the walls come down as our inner child starts to feel more lovable, because it's letting go of all these rules, like this long list of stuff that has to happen. Eventually we can whittle it down to nothing, because we return to unconditional love, which is no conditions. I'm 100% lovable, always. When I go into the outside world to conditional love, that long list of conditions, that's where the happens, right? So I like that for you. And you have the Nine of Spears too. So the Nine of Swords, all the expectations and the fears. So all these nine energies, this is about returning and releasing some of these things that's coming here. Now you've done a lot of shadow work, and you know, it's acknowledged that you have, but there's more that we can look at right now in this time of your life. Some things that became such a part of you that you just think that's just the way it is. And it's like, but does it have to be? This expectation, anything that sounds like that, supposed to be, should be, need to be, have to be, must be kind of energy that comes in with that. So hopefully that helps. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in. Oh, right there. For your art therapy. And you have the memorable map. the map of memories, right? Card number 27, 7 plus 2 is 9. We go into that 9 of wands, 9 of swords energy. The goal for the activity is to boost your mood through memories. The medium is drawing, time commitment, an hour. The instructions are draw a map from a favorite trip or even of your hometown. Start by jotting down the towns or sites you visited. Consider symbols to represent your favorite aspects of these places. Sketch the map with pencil, then add color. Add details over the top with black pen or paint. Hint is to tune in to your 5 senses to remember details. Wow. That could help you on your map of things you enjoyed, but also while you're doing that map, you can even do a dark map if you want. Map out those old emotions you felt and going, ooh, let me go back to those and see if I can transform those too. Explorative questions. Does tuning into your senses help you remember more? Is this something you could practice while traveling? What do you feel grateful for about this place? Who would you like to visit it with? And then where do you want to travel next? Is there a step you can take today toward making this happen? Ooh, I like that. All right. So that is what they have for you for that, Nelia. Thank you again for your donation. We'll circle back around for your free reading later. All right. So Valerie, we're there, Valerie. Finally. Hopefully you saw my response from your last donation last week. And hopefully that all made sense. So please let me know if it did not. And let's give you a love and a like here for your donation. I appreciate that. And let us, here it is up here. What do you need to focus on or change to launch your skating business to make it the most successful? All right. I love that. Let's see here. Any advice on what can make it the most successful? Meaning financially successful and liked by people, attracting people. You know, that's success. What does success mean for you, right? Spirit knows. All right, so we've got a few steps here and then some underlying energy. I like this one too. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me take a quick sip here. Getting parched. All right. So, Valerie, whoops, I'm showing myself. That's not going to help. I got the 10 of wands on the bottom. Now, so advice here is be aware of where you're focusing your energy in the rolling out and the pursuit of the skating business, right? So one of that is, am I focusing on want and need and fears? Because if I focus on that, I'm going to draw on stuff that matches that, and that matches lack, right? So one of the things right off the bat is like remembering this is my dream, and then focus on gratitude for what I do have, what is going well, what I love about it, what I have had. That brings you into receiving energy instead of pushing away success. We draw success when we're have an attitude of gratitude around the successes I have and I have had already. So that's just good off the bat, bottom line energy here. The 10 of Wands is also become aware of you. Everything can feel like it's urgent and important. So managing your energy on a daily basis is helpful. Like create 3 buckets. What's truly urgent and important to you goes in bucket 1. What's truly important to you but not urgent goes in bucket 2. Those are things that you'll put on your calendar to get done, but they don't need to be done today. And then bucket 3 is the things that seem urgent but are not important. You chunk those in bucket 3. You don't even have to do anything with those because they're not important, right? So we create those 3 buckets and we focus in on bucket 1, what's truly urgent and important. Once we do finish that stuff, if we have time left over in the day, we focus on bucket 2. If we finish everything in bucket 1 and bucket 2 and we're bored, we can go to bucket 3, but we don't have to. But focus on those. It really helps put a focus and energy, and you get stuff done and you move forward instead of feeling scattered and exhausted because everything feels like it's urgent and important. So it's good clarity that comes in with that, right? Then you have three other things. The first one, you have the King of Pearls and the Eight of Treasure. So King of Pearls is balance between head and heart, and the Eight of Pentacles is about putting in the blood, the sweat, the tears, and things will happen. So an important thing to realize with creating this skating business is we can get so caught up into the brain of the supposed to be, the should be, the need to be, everyone's opinions and all that blah blah blah. We can get drawn off into that, and that feels like work. And then we can neglect the heart and what the heart wants, how the heart wants to be expressed in it. So we can be like, well, everyone thinks it's supposed to be this way and you should do it this way. But if your heart is like, but I want it to look like this, but people are going, nah, 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 and you're like, but this is what my heart wants. This is your dream. If you do it and allow your heart to have an equal seat at the table, then that's what allows things to come forward. And it doesn't feel like work so much because you're doing stuff you love, not just doing tasks and putting your success in the future of I'll be successful and happy when, because when never comes. There's always something else that comes up, right? There's always something more. But if you're living your dream, then every step along the way is success, is abundance, because you're living your dream and you're excited about it. It's not about when, it's about now and celebrating now. So the combination of those two is important. Underneath that, you do have the Five of Treasure, the Five of Pentacles. This goes back to the focusing on lack, because the Five of Pentacles is like the fear of not having enough, not being enough, those types of things. But when you're living your dream, you realize I'm always going to make it work some way, somehow. And I'm never going to give up on my dream. When we're living someone else's dream, yeah, we give up easier because, it's not our dream, it's someone else's. But when you're living your dream, success will automatically follow you, because especially when you're celebrating and you're grateful for living your dream in each moment, it draws in, like we are talking about in the beginning, it draws in more abundance. Rather than fearing lack, what happens? We draw in lack, right? So I like that for you. That's step one. Step two, you've got the Queen of Pearls, the Queen of Cups, and the Death card, Death and Rebirth. We'll see what's underlying energy under this too, but the Queen of Cups is following your heart, following your intuition, and putting an end to things that don't serve you anymore. And again, that's that, the fears and all the opinion of everyone else and blah, blah, blah. So it's, allowing this to come, back to our direction, coming back to your heart and allowing your heart to lead, not being afraid to put an end to the ways you've done things before. Follow your intuition, follow your gut, allow it to go in that direction. Yeah, you have the Five of Wands underneath here. So these fives, this is this changing the energy, getting out of the mindsets of that there's this long list of things that it has to be, instead of what do you want it to be and how do you want to create it. Really get into your creative side, allowing your heart. Look at this as not as a business and this and that, right? Look at it as this is how I want to express my unconditional love energy in my heart with the world in my own special and unique way. This is how I want to do this. I love how it impacts people. I love the experiences it brings people. I love how it helps other people's dreams come true, with this. And you can look at it in that way. So I love that it's getting into your heart and allowing your heart to be expressed and get out of the head, at least balance it, right? Because we can get so caught up into the roles and all the tasks that it becomes like, work instead of living, right? And then number 3, you have here, the power of choice, energy with the chariot, and the page of treasure, the page of pentacles. I like this, realizing that every moment you're making a choice of the story you're putting to things, the emotion that you're choosing, the energy you're putting forward in your physical actions. And that's all you can be responsible for. You can't control, hiccup, how other people are going to, what story they're going to put to things, how they're going to feel, what they're going to do. All you can do is focus on what you're doing. And as you can either choose higher vibration, gratitude, unconditional love, joy, laughter, play, that higher vibration, and that draws in more of that. Both the stories you put to things, the emotions, the energy, the actions, or we can do the lower vibrational things that are rooted in fear, of the story of fear, the emotions of fear, the energy of fear, actions of fear. We get more of that, right? But if you focus, it's all in your hands. Your success is in your hands by your power of choice for each moment. So the world is designed and we're taught to focus on the lower vibration, right? The things we fear, the things we hope won't happen and won't go wrong, and what we feel needs to happen and should happen. And we get caught up in all that energy, and that is what goes down. But we can put reminders and things all around. Like when I am having energy that keeps drawing me out into the fearful world, into the fear amusement park that we live in, that's full of opportunity for fear amusement park rides. I put reminders on my phone and sticky notes everywhere, silent vibrating alarm every waking hour. Come back to now, come back to gratitude, come back to love, come back to whatever, to draw me out of that into the higher vibration. That's what brings more in, right? The energy underneath that, we have the Empress. Yeah, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. Again, it's time to follow your heart, take action in this, allow your heart to be expressed in positive, higher vibration emotion. It will draw things in here for you, but it's about being creative and being different, not trying to fit in and make it like everyone else, I feel. But the energy, no matter what's going on in the outside world, our energy, what we're focusing on each moment, is what is creating our life and drawing it to us. So the more that you can focus in on that and draw that in, then that is what it can bring for you here. So I love that for you. Hopefully that's helpful. Let's pull your fortune cookie here. I'm being drawn to this one right on the top. They took my eyes right to it. So this is yours. Here's that joyful 5. Card number 11. To increase feelings of gratitude and happiness is the goal for the activity. It is the medium of painting. And the instructions are draw 5 small circles on paper, kind of like it's showing here. And then write something that sparks joy in your life. Then add drawings and watercolor to illustrate these ideas, because they have like friendship written and adventure and etc. So whatever 5 things, write it in there and then create around it. Notice which stands out most. Cut out this circle and carry the joy with you today. Hint is, throughout your day, look at this circle to keep the joy present. So that's a lot of what we were talking about here, right? About, this energy that's coming in. So I like this for you here, because that's what we're talking about. Reminders to focus on higher vibration. The explorative questions you can ask yourself: is this something that has been a source of joy before, or is it new? Where could you put this circle so it can remind you of your joy? And how could your day change if you led with this joyful feeling? There we go. Perfect for your reading. I love it. All right, so that's what they have for you, Valerie. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation. All right, Maria P., you are up next. Let's grab your timestamp here. This is for your first one. Circle back around eventually for your additional one there. That's for that one. And let's bring up your PayPal here. All right. Take a quick sip here. All right. All right. So we have Wally's thoughts and feelings towards you today. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's get into Wally's energy. All right. Got that. And thoughts. All right. And then last night you talked till almost 2 a.m. Oh my gosh. But you knocked out and he was still texting. Thoughts that I fell asleep. Yeah. 2 a.m. Hello. And then hope you didn't get sad or upset. Okay, we'll look at that. What's coming for you and Walter next week? All right. What's coming for you and Walter next week? All right. Boom, boom. And then anything else? Let's take a look. All right. Do have those. All right. So his thoughts and feelings for you in this moment. We have the Four of Coral, which is the Four of Wands, joy, and celebration. And the Ace of Cups, Ace of Pearls, they call it here, which is joy and happy, energy here. So both of these, their thoughts and beliefs are joy and happiness and happy feelings. There's no, it's stable energy, it's happy energy, it's all good stuff with that. So nothing of concerning there. That's coming in. And when he fell asleep, how did he feel about it? Was he upset or anything by that? Oh yeah, he's hateful. The moon card, Mother Luna, nurturing energy, King of Spears, King of Swords, which is seeing things from a higher perspective. The Mother Luna, caring energy. No, he understands. I mean, he's fallen asleep. He knows what it's like. It's 2 a.m. You zonked out. You were tired. He doesn't have any loneliness or sadness or upset about it. He understands. He gets it. Yeah, he would have continued chatting for a long time, but I feel like it was time to kind of shut down the conversation anyway, so you both can get rest, so you guys don't get sick. Rest is important, especially for Mama. So he understands. What's coming for you and Walter next week? Two situations here. You have the Page of Coral. Yeah, of course, Page of Wands. Some passionate times, of course. We're like, you get that every week when you ask, right? Well, there, of course, is that get together. And then you have the Eight of Spears, Eight of Swords. Another, so I feel like you guys get together twice. One is more motion and action and activity and passion. I won't make any hand gestures. And then the other, Eight of Spears, is great conversation. Eight of Swords is about questioning and becoming aware of my own thoughts and beliefs and thinking things differently, and great communication and flow. And I feel like the week is a lot of communication with the 8 energy too, but it's a lot of flowing communication. So I feel like you guys get together. I'm reminded of you mentioning like going to the park and walking and just having great talk. And I feel like that is this one, an activity that's just you guys chatting. And that's wonderful, right? So I like that for you. Anything else? We have 4 other cards. You got the Ace of Spears, Ace of Swords. There is clarity, coming in here. Let's see what it's about. Queen of Spears, the balance between head and heart. That's coming in here. But that's also the clarity around what a great fit you guys are. I just feel like it continues to see how you guys just have so many commonalities and see things in the same way, and it just fits so well, right? Things that you like, things you want to enjoy, things that you want to try and go, hey, I want to go try that. And you're like, I do too. Let's go do that. Just a lot of similarities, a lot of commonalities, differences, because you guys introduce each other to different things, but a lot, you're just more and more, you're seeing that with each other. The Seven of Spears, letting go of a lot of old beliefs and thoughts that don't serve anymore. And the Nine of Pearls, the Nine of Cups. I feel like those two coming together here, it's becoming also more aware of my own expectations around what a dream come true is, that are kind of deceptive to myself. It cheats me out of feeling like a dream come true in this moment, when I feel like have all these things that need to happen before I feel like my dream has come true. It's like questioning and looking into your life and going, what do I feel? And this is a question that came up earlier, which they're bringing back up. You can ask yourself, because the Three of Swords is what came up. But with the Seven of Swords, I feel this is good for you. Write down the 7 things that you feel should have already happened in your relationship or in your life that haven't happened yet, because that's going to show you where, if it's not conscious, it's below the surface. As you start asking yourself this, it comes up and going, yeah, these are 7 things I feel I should have experienced or have already that I feel haven't happened yet. That's where you are experiencing lack, and that's where it can bring around some awareness. So I like that for you. So let's pull your first fortune cookie here, and we'll eventually circle back around for your second one. For this one, you've got this, what's your superpower? Card number 59. So the goal for this activity is to appreciate your personal strengths. The medium is through sculpture. Time commitment is 30 minutes. Maybe you have clay with your children. It says the instructions are to create a representation of a superhero from clay. Think of qualities and strengths this superhero possesses. Can you represent this visually? Make a small sculpture using the clay and sculpturing tools. Then, if desired, follow the package directions to bake and preserve the sculpture. Questions you can ask yourself: what are some of your strengths, your superpowers? In what situations are your strengths most apparent? And is there a strength or superpower you wish you had? Can you do something to move in that direction? I love the example they give here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Cute. All right. So that's what they have for that one, Maria. So many blessings to you. All right. And let's see. Oops. All right. Let me see here. Scroll. There we are. Got lost there for a sec. All right. So we are to Sharu, I think, is how you say that. My apologies if I totally murdered your name there. Let's get your timestamp out here. All right. So let's give that a love and a like there. So Sharu, let's take a look here. So you said last time you asked about college decision, you told me it's better for you to get a refund. So you tried your level best to not go to that college, but you find yourself forcefully in this college. Okay. So especially your father persuaded you, and your mom also wants you to go for MBA. Even if you're still on the same page, you don't feel even you are still on the same page, you don't feel anything about it. Sometimes you feel it's good, but some day like why I am investing a lot. All right. So can you please let you know what God wants from you, why this is happening? Should I completely shut my mind and go with flow without questioning, or try other ways like finding a new course? Will you try the job in the government sector? As you say last time, there's less probability of getting job. Will you ever get job or not? All right. Let's take a look here. So, and just to clarify here, yeah, there, it's when we're talking about better, worse, and I probably said this because this is when we ask creator and spirit questions, they don't have a should or a supposed to or a better or worse. They just look at decisions as different experiences, different outcomes. There's no right or wrong from spirit standpoint. So that's what we look at it. That's a human judgment thing. Like, here's the energy. Well, this is what better for me. That's a human mindset. This like it's more like this is what I want to experience. So if you wanted to experience something different, but you feel forced out of fear of you um, continue to do what everyone else wanted you to do, not what you wanted to do. So that's not creator, right? That's your choices. That's your power of choice, which is where you're at. Our energy is what we create with. It's not the creator forcing us to do things. So when we ask them, like, well, what does God want from me? They want you to have the most adventurous, enjoyable time that you can possibly have while you're here. They don't have this is what you're supposed to do or should do. It's like a grandparent taking a grandchild to a playground to go play, and the grandchild going, well, what should I go play on? And it's like, whatever you want. What do you want to go enjoy? What do you want to experience? And um, if they're like, no, I don't want you mad at me, what should I go on? And that's when your parents and other humans are like, oh, you're supposed to go play on the slide. You're like, oh, okay, because you really wanted to go on the merry-go-round, right? The one that goes in circles, or the swings. I didn't want to go on the slide. I'm scared of heights. I don't want to do that. I'm going to burn my legs on that metal slide. I don't want to do that. But they want me to, so I'm going to go do that. But that's not what the grandparents said. That's not what the creator said. That's what other children on the playground are, which is what your family is and anyone else. There are other children having their own experience on the playground, telling you what you should go on and play on. Out of fear, you're like, well, I don't want them to, make fun of me and ostracize me and get mad at me and not play with me. So I'm going to go do what they want me to do. Then that's your choice, right? And you're like, well, go enjoy the slide. You can enjoy the slide if you want to. You can enjoy the swing if you want to, but you get to choose. And part of your choice is like, well, grandma's a child on the playground. Your parents are children on the playground. And if you're like, well, I want to play with them, so I'm going to do what they want me to do right now. All right, well, that's your choice. There's no wrong choice. It's your preference, right? So when you were trying to ask God what do they want, they're putting it back on you, not telling you what you should do on the playground. They're like, go play. You get to experience what you want to do. So it's facing your fears about, I'm going to go do stuff I don't want to do, but I'm doing it because I love my parents. I love my grandma. I want, to do things with them. And I feel if I don't, they're going to ostracize me. Then that's the choice you're making. And as long as you understand why you're making the choices you are, that it's out of fear of rejection, or if it, or is it out of love for them? I want to do what they do. Then that will help you with all of this, right? But I feel like here, um, why you're feeling the way you are is because you're in fear. I don't want to, understand why it is you don't want to do what you're doing. Are you fearing failing? Because I feel like there's a lot of fear. Let's take a look here and just see what's at the root of why you're in this conflict. Because that's really what we're wanting to know. Why are you so conflicted, right? And then we'll ask your other question about the government sector. All right. So why are you so conflicted? And then if you go for government sector, what's the outcome based on current energy? Because again, our energy is what changes things too. So we'll look at that. Okay. So what's the conflict at the bottom here, right? Yeah. So you've got here 10 of Cups is joy, joy, joy. And the Sun card is all about the inner child wanting to do what it wants to do. It wants to find joy. And underneath that, we have Lover's card. The conflict comes in, one, in that you're afraid you're going to make a wrong choice. And in the fear of making a wrong choice is that, what will other people think if I make a wrong choice, right? Because we fear rejection as humans till we realize I can never be rejected by the most important beings, the creator. These human characters are not real. They're just characters people are playing. The higher vibrational beings behind all human characters are powerful, eternal beings made of unconditional love, right? So ultimately, even my parents, if I don't do what they want me to do in this realm, they love me unconditionally on the other side. Their higher selves, and this is just one character they're playing. That's just a role they're playing in this lifetime. But truly, everyone on the other side loves me unconditionally. So I can never not be unconditionally loved. I can just experience this on this playground, kids acting stupid, right? And I don't like you. You're not doing what I want you to do. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home, right? That's what we're afraid of. Oh no, I got rejected. And they're like, it doesn't matter, you know, in the long run. Just for our human experience, we like to experience all of this. But that's where the conflict is coming in, because your heart wants to pursue your joy and what you want, but you feel like I don't have a choice. But you do. That's what this Lover's card is, the emotional choice. Every moment I get to choose how I want to feel. I'm either going to choose a higher vibration emotion of joy and gratitude, unconditional love, and all this, or I'm going to choose emotions that are of fear. And that's sadness and rejection and depression and, anger and all those things that are rooted in fear. That's what this is coming down to, is I am not living the life I want to. I'm living the life other people want for me, and I don't want to do it, right? That's where your conflict is coming in. When you face that and realize it's not anyone, no one can make you feel any way. No one can make you choose anything you don't want to do, right? So when you stop blaming others um, for what you're feeling and you take responsibility for it, then you're like, it's true. I can go, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do those things. This is what I want to do with my life. And they're like, too bad. What are they going to do? We're fearing they're going to cut us off out of their lives, throw us out of the house, do whatever. We're fearing the repercussions of our choice. And so out of fear, I might not do what I want because of the fear, right? So it's important for you to know where the conflict is, that it's not out there, it's in here that your conflict is. The conflict isn't with your parents, it's not with your grandma, it's not with the university, it's not with teachers. It's the conflict of your beliefs, of what their actions or non-actions, their words or their silent treatment, what that means about me. I get to decide that, right? But you have this story that if I don't do what they are telling me to do, that means I'm a failure or they're going to reject me. And I fear that, right? So it's facing the fears and understanding it, because that's where the conflict is, right? And if you resolve it and just go, you know what? I know I'm doing this out of fear, but I can switch that and I can do it out of love for them, or I can do it out of love for myself, right? So I feel like that's the important thing to know, is really to understand why you're choosing what you're choosing. If now let's jump into the second part of your question here. Will you try a job in a government sector? I don't know. Will you? That's your choice, right? If you do, what's the possibility of getting it? What kind of experience based on current energy, right? So we have temperance, there's patience. Eventually, if you want it, if that's truly what you want, you'll continue to go after it. It's about patience. It would take time for it. The Knight of Wands here and the Queen of Spears, which is the Queen of Swords, this is about balancing your head and your heart. And the Knight of Wands is about being aware of where you're investing your energy. I kind of alluded to that, and we'll talk about that real quick here too. But this is all about both of everything we're talking about is, what do you truly want? Your mind is battling with your heart. Your mind has these supposed to be, should be, need to be, these rules of fear based on what others have told you you're supposed to do, should do, need to do, must do, have to. And at the root of that is fear, fear of rejection, right? Your heart has what it wants to do to live, what it desires, where that joy, all that joy we were talking about in the beginning, that's where it wants to lead you. This is about having both come together, your heart and your mind, and find out what will your mind support of what your heart wants, and have that. I don't know if this government job, it doesn't feel like with this balance between head and heart that that's what you want. I feel like that's what you feel you're supposed to want. You have a lot of people controlling your life, trying to control your life, that you're allowing them to control your life, right? And it's culture, it's how you grew up, it's, the fear of I can't make it on my own. If I don't, I'll starve to death. I'll die if I don't do what they want me to do. Really face those fears and then make the decisions you want. Eventually, your heart will win out. You'll do all this for years, trying to obey, trying to live the life everyone wants you. And then you feel like you're existing. Eventually, you'll choose what you're living. And depending on whether you do well in school or you get the job, all of that has to do with your energy. And with that Knight of Wands, that's what we're talking about with, if I am focusing on gratitude for what I have and what I have had, and surrendering to the creator and surrendering to the universe, going, I know that everything in life happens for me, and I'm going to have gratitude for all the things I love that are happening in my life. Then the gratitude in things to be grateful for grows. If I'm focusing on what I fear, what I feel I need and want, what I feel is missing, all of that is lack energy, and that pushes it further away, and I grow the lower vibrational energy in my life. So being aware of where you're focusing your energy, I feel like, is an important piece with all that. So I know that's a lot. Listen to that as many times as you need to, of course. Let's see what the art therapy card brings in here for your fortune cookie here. So you've got Friendly Feast, card number 65. The purpose of this activity is to boost happiness through social connection. The medium is sculpture, through creating sculpture. It says, using clay, have fun creating some miniature food items. Food is meant to be shared, so can you think of some friends who might smile if you gave them one of these little creations? If desired, follow the package directions to bake and preserve the sculptures. So they have examples. You can create little different things to give people, and this creative energy helps put you in a different mindset than all the fear. When we get into creating, we can have this wonderful connect with creator in that way. Questions you can ask yourself: how did you feel while creating this kind of art? What did it feel like to think about sharing your art with friends? And does this art exercise prompt any desires to connect socially with others, right? So it's about getting back to the creativity we create from our heart. This is things that help us get back to our heart and get out of our head. So hopefully that helps a little bit there, Charu. So many blessings to you. All right. Let's see where we're at here. Let's see. We're going to be on for about 15 more minutes. Obviously, I'm not going to finish everything in this session, not even all the donations. So I will be coming back on. I'm going to be ending in about 15 minutes. I'm going to go eat and chill out for a little bit, and then I'll be back on and I'll finish out all donations and all free readings too. When I'm done with a session, I do post a pinned comment with all the timestamps. So I'll do that after this one, and then after I finish my afternoon one, when I come back on, I'll do the same. So as long as you have your question out here, I'll capture all those here in a minute, and then I will be back later this afternoon. All right. So I do have time for at least a couple more here, probably. So we've got Sudeshna. Let me see here. Let's wait to hear. So Sudeshna, we'll do 2 minutes 45. 2 hours 45 minutes. So Sudeshna. And then you have one more at the very end. Well, actually, there's been more, I think, since then, but we have another one which we'll catch in the next one. All right, so let's give that a love and a like here. And so why does your ex, SK, keep on continuously stalking you on Instagram? What are his intentions and what is he thinking? Rolling your eyes. You're so funny. Why? All right. So, why does he keep pursuing you acting on Instagram? Okay. What are his intentions? I do feel like we those two. All right, let's see what's going on with them. Yeah. So at the bottom of the deck, we do have the 10 of Swords. Expectations. And even the Devil card underneath here. Devil card energy. It's all this thinking energy. Well, I've even got the Ace of Swords. Trying to find clarity. I feel like they still are trying to understand, like, what happened? Why didn't things work out? I feel like this is the underlying energy. They're trying to figure out what happened, and in staying in connection with you, they're hoping that they'll understand it. But I feel like it's more in they need to understand, why was there disappointment? Where was their failure? Where did it fail? And they're just kind of, I feel like that's the draw. That's really what's underneath the surface that's going on here. If you ask them, though, I feel like if you asked them, I feel like these cards, like, why are you doing this? I feel like they're saying here, the Emperor, yeah, the charge, being in charge energy, and the Two of Spheres, which is the decision energy here. But it is, it's like they're trying to understand and they're trying to be like, I'm in charge. I feel like it's more of a, I don't want to say a power play, but it does feel like, I want to be the one that made the choice. And in a way, from where what's driving them consciously is I need to be the one that exerts the power. And if they know, like, I can impact you or bother you if you respond or react to them, if they know I can get under your skin, then it's showing that I have power. And I feel like that's what they need to understand, not understand, but from their human standpoint, what that's how I can feel good about myself, is if I am the one in charge. I need to feel that way, right? Underneath the surface, they're trying to understand, why didn't it work out? Where did I fail? That's really what's below the surface there. What are their intentions? Let's take a look here. Yep, King of Treasure, King of Pentacles, just rulership, I feel, is again here. The Page of Treasure, which is the Page of Pentacles. You got both of these about, I want to feel like I am abundant, like I am successful, I am the one with the upper hand, in the physical world. They're like doing this, right? They're in, what are they thinking in intentions? We have the Four of Coral, the Four of Wands, which is joy, celebration. We have the Hierophant, trying to see things from a higher perspective. And the Nine of Spears, the Fears, the Nine of Swords. So again, this comes back to the three cards we looked on the bottom with trying to see things from a different perspective, trying to understand where again, this fear of failure, the fear of not being enough is why they're interacting, with all of this. I don't feel like they're trying to get back together or anything like that. This feels like more of a power kind of thing, esteem, trying to raise my own self-esteem by acting in a way where I get attention from you. Some sort of response is attention from you. And if I can do this, then I win. And that's what they feel like I need it to win, kind of energy. But I just wouldn't respond to it. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here. All right. This top one here. Yep. You've got good things to come. Focus on the gift that's coming, right? There are so many amazing gifts coming my way, coming your way. I can't see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under the wrapping paper, but they will show up when the time is just right. And that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised. Here's that. We talked about the person coming your way. It's the gift that's coming your way. And it's exciting. So focus the energy on what's coming your way. Because if you focus energy on them, on your ex, what are you doing? You're drawing them to you, right? So instead of focusing on the things I don't like, I don't want, I'm focusing on gratitude of the things I do love that are in my life, that I have had in my life, the stuff that I want to draw toward me, right? So that is what they have for you. So like I said, we'll circle back around for your other one eventually as well. All right. All right. Let me see here. So I think we have room for one more here. Maybe two more. Maybe we'll get you in here, love. So love is the most powerful force in the universe. Let's put yours. I think we can do both of yours here. Your free reading we'll circle back around for eventually. But let's dive in here. So let's give your first one a love and a like. Thank you so much for that donation. And you want to describe the future spouse. All right, very good. Let's take a look here. So let's take a look and see what Spirit wants you to know about your future spouse here. All right, they do have these. All right. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Two of Wands energy that comes in here. I like this energy because it's like describing their power of choice. Like they understand that where they focus their energy is what grows and expands. So already I just feel like they have a bit of enlightenment around them because they knew that when they were younger, when they focused on lower vibration, it drew it in. And now I understand the power of my energy. So I like that coming in, that awareness that they have. Let's see what else we have. You have the Six of Treasure, the Six of Pentacles. There's this great energy of equal giving and receiving here. So I like that it's someone that understands. They've moved beyond like the codependent kind of energy. They understand that they don't have to overgive. They allow people to give back too. The importance of both giving and receiving energy. So a very balanced energy with that too. I like that, that generosity that's there. We also have the King of Treasure that comes in here. So the King of Pentacles energy that comes in. This is an energy. They've learned a lot around the outside world. There's this confidence that comes in with this, that they realize I don't define myself by the outside world. I did before. That's one of the big things that King of Pentacles learns is that when I define myself by the outside world, I feel unstable. So a lot of what I feel like this energy is they learned a lot, and they've learned to base their worth on their love that they have on the inside. So there's this confidence, the stability that comes in here. And I do feel this earthy energy from them. So they could be an earth sign, but I feel like they're down to earth. There's someone that would much rather, be wearing, just some jeans and a t-shirt, or jeans and a sweatshirt, and they can dress up and they can do all that, but they are really down to earth, more person than trying to dress to the nines and do all this. They're very grounded, individual. Let's see what else. Page of Pearls, Page of Cups, someone that looks on the higher side. They are someone that's not looking for the regular love. They're looking for someone that has higher love as well, someone that matches that higher vibrational love. So definitely, um, they're not just looking for a husband or someone. They're looking for someone that has that higher love. That, and in a way, it's like an energy of that. You don't need me and I don't need you, because we both have our love inside of us. But I want to be with you because you're an expression of the love that I have inside of me. And I love that energy there. So I like that. We have the Six of Coral, the Six of Wands. Definitely an energy of like equal attraction with each other. But I do feel like you guys meet in a situation where one of you is above the crowd over another, either on stage or teaching something or serving something. Could be like behind a book stand, someone selling books, and they're standing out from the crowd because they're the one on the other side of the table, or like on stage. Um, could be at an event, a wedding. It's somewhere where one of you is set apart, where you guys, that's where you recognize each other. And the other person who's in the crowd stands out too, to the person that's standing out. You're like, whoa, who's that? The energy is what draws you guys together. And lastly, you got the High Priestess. We knew that was coming, right? So we got this wonderful energy of someone who's very connected to the spirit world, very in tune with their psychic abilities, their spiritual abilities, which is something that, you know, quite often is missed in a relationship when you're a being who is focused on spiritual. A lot of times we end up with people that aren't, um, especially when we're evolving in the beginning. And that's something that's missing, is that the spirituality and the connection is the glue that holds you guys together. So I love that for you. So that is what they want you to know. Let's see what from your art therapy here, what they want you to know. What else? This could just be something for you or something about the relationship. We got appreciation art. Card 42, this is to increase feelings of gratitude and happiness. This represents that energy of who they are. They're full of gratitude and happiness. The medium is a collage. The instructions say collect images or copies of photos of things you appreciate, like favorite items, people, places, and experiences, etc. Glue the images on paper, and if desired, use a paintbrush to seal them with decoupage medium. Questions you can ask yourself as you're looking through this or doing this process, or after, is how do you feel after focusing on gratitude in your art? Is there someone you'd like to express appreciation to today? And is there an element of your collage you would like to focus on calling into your life today? I like that. This is a good reminder too when we're looking at wanting a spouse in our life, right? Like, I really, Creator, I'd love to have a partner that reflects the love that I have inside of me, with each other. And we give that to the Creator. We're like, we ask once, and then we start gratitude around what we have, what we love about the love in our life, what we love about loves we've had in the past. It doesn't have to be romantic love. It can be just any love that we've had. Because we're showing the Creator the loving experiences we want to experience, and then that's what draws them to us. If I focus on want and need of a mate, then that just pushes it further away, because that's lack energy, which creates our energy, creates more lack, creates more distance, and makes it um, longer for us to be able to get to somewhere, right? So I feel like that is what we have for that. So thank you for your first one. And then let's hear, we'll get your second one in here too. Let's give that a love and a like there. So thank you for number 2. Like I said, the free reading will get on the second session when I come back. You want to describe the next 12 months for you. All right, for the next year. Let's take a look here. What does Spirit want you to know? Based on your current energy, your current choices, what does the next 12 months look like here for you? All right. We've got this. We've got these. This. And I do want that one and that one and that one. All right. Well, their overall energy on the bottom is the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Pearls, self-love, higher love. That's our whole journey, right? So it's the journey and the expansion of your self-love, which is great. That's great, energy. You have the 3 of Spears, the 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords energy here. Sorry. My cheeks are getting numb from sitting for 3 hours. That's why I shut them off after 3 hours. But the 3 of Swords here, I feel like this is something that you're learning, because this is expectations equal disappointment. I feel over the next year, you're really fine-tuning and seeing what are the expectations that I'm not aware of that I can release. A little exercise you can do with the 3 of Swords is make a list. 1, 2, 3. What are 3 things that I feel should have happened already that haven't? And that makes us think and go, oh, wow, is there things that I mix? Even it can be subconscious that I'm not conscious of, but asking yourself things. So it brings them up going, oh, yeah, I feel like this is something bubbling below the surface. I should have been married by now, right? Or I should have had this by now. I should have this by now. Those are all lack energies, expectations that we might unbeknownst be putting energy into that, which is pushing things further away. But bringing them up, we release them. Then we focus on gratitude around things. We draw in other stuff, right? So I feel like that's a piece of some of the next 12 months is what you're realizing is still bubbling down below there, below the surface, and that you're able to release. You have the Sun card and the Page of Spears. Yeah, we've got the Leo energy of the Sun card, and the Page of Spears is about clarity that comes in. And I do see here the inner child of the Sun card is really coming out here with this Page of Swords. Kind of what we talked about here. I feel like these are kind of related, where you're discovering things that your inner child was holding on to that you can release over these 12 months. Because there'll be triggers that'll come up, and that's our inner child going, hey, 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 hey. They're just asking us to look at something that can be released so that we don't have that, energy that's there, running on autopilot below the surface. So some great release, I feel, comes in over these 12 months. You've done a ton already. These feels like it's more fine tuning. Yeah, the 4 of Spears, that's the peace of mind that comes after the 3 of Swords. So as you're releasing these things, you're seeing things from a different perspective. Your mind is more and more and more at peace over these 12 months. Right, so I feel like that's one. Well, here's the 5 of Spears. The battle between the head and the heart, the conflict. There's a lot of resolution a lot about mindsets here, because you got the three, the 4, the 5. You have the Page of Spears too. So there is this progression and this clarity that you're getting. A lot of clarity about what you want, what you don't want. Clarity of things below the surface, especially. Just feels like you're cutting away a lot of chains, like a balloon that has like a sandbags that are keeping it down. You've clipped off a lot, but you're clipping off more. You're going higher and higher and higher in your love vibration. You got the Moon card, yeah, cycles, moon. Again, here's that subconscious world. And I feel like there is a lot of past life Akashic record awareness, past life information, understanding of past life wisdom and knowledge, access that comes in with that too, which makes sense with all this wisdom. You're clearing away and making space for higher wisdom that's just filling in over these 12 months. The Hanged Man, yeah, transformation, seeing things from a higher perspective, and the Tower card. All these major arcana, things being removed out of your life, making space, like as I was saying, things being removed mentally, emotionally, energetically, even physically being moved out of your life, making space for what is coming, for that which is in alignment with your higher self. So I love that. This 12 months feels very transformational. I know this year so far with all the energies of the planets and everything, oh my God, right? But even more so, a lot of that coming in. All right, let's see what your other fortune cookie is here from the Affirminators. All right. And we have Perseverance. Yeah, keep going. Which says, it seems you're on a massive journey right now. Duh, right? And this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. You don't need to enjoy it, you just need to tackle it, but you can still enjoy it if you want. Complain if it makes the job easier. Blow off steam. You think mountain climbers get to the top of Everest on inspirational quotes? No way. They're grunting and crying and cursing like freaking pirates. Let's see, that just doesn't sell a lot of posters. That's right. The inspirational quotes sell, but cuss like a bunch of pirates, I think that would sell too. But there's no wrong emotion. You can enjoy it. You can cuss along the way as you're going through your transformation, and that's okay. I love that for you. All right. So that is what we have. All right. I'm going to grab some print screens here. Let's see. What did I leave off? Lucky at 11:16. All right. Let me scroll up here. All right. So that's where we left off. Let me grab here screenshots. I'm going to go take a break for a little bit and eat. And I will be back in about an hour or so to complete out everything. And I'll let everyone know here. I'll post a pinned comment after I'm done with this of the donations I did complete during this session. I did not complete any free readings. Still have a couple of handfuls of donations to complete, which I will be up first when I return. And when I return, I will also, in the description box of the stream when I come back on, that will list the order in which I'm going to complete all the readings. But after I'm done with that second session, I will, of course, pin a comment for that one too, listing the order in which everything is completed. So let me just grab this here. Okay, and there we go. All right. So I think that is all that are there. Oh, thank you, Diana, everybody. Rhonda, everybody. Hello, hello. And then, okay, so let me just make sure I have this list here. So let me did those. Let's see. Okay, that's Johanna. And then let me make sure here. Then we go to Marissa, and then back to Sudeshna. All right, and it's Maria. It's Marissa. Okay. Just making sure I've got everyone here too. I'll let you guys know here just to make sure. Also make sure I have all of the questions out here, right? Got that one there. Let me see, when did that one come in? 148, okay. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself, which is so rude. I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure I've got all the donations listed. Okay, so the donations I still have outstanding. When I return, Diana, your follow-up will be up. So sorry that we didn't get to it. Your additional one, Maria P., your second one, Johanna, and then Marissa, and then Sudeshna, and then Cat Lady of the Sea, and then Sudeshna, and then Sean G., and then a little bit. So that's what I have. Hopefully I am not didn't miss anyone there. I will make sure as I go through all of the screenshots to make sure I have everything that's coming in there too. So, and then Varun, let me grab yours. You just came in here. So you're confused about your path. We'll pull cards for that too. All right, but I'm headed off and I will be back in about an hour or so. I'm going to eat and kind of chill and get my energy replenished a little bit, and then I'll come back on and I'll finish out everything. So I shall return. Until then, remember everybody that every second of every day of your life, you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you guys too. So thank you for all your love, support, all the thumbs up, and all your patience in getting to your readings. I look forward to finishing everything out. Until then, have some fun. We shall return. All right. Many blessings. Love you guys.